Welcome into this fun Friday edition of The Meltdown. We all went to go see Twisters last night. Did it blow us away, or are we a house split right down the middle? We will give you our review here shortly. With that, Lunce's list looks at the 5 natural disaster films that make John's personal cut. Hot or cold, we'll get our panel involved in weighing in on another round of entertainment trends. And with SEC Media Days officially wrapped, EG will give us one last behind-the-scenes look as we have one of our TNR colleagues back to give us a full update. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown, presented by MyBookie and broadcasting live from the Culver studio.
2 big balls in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know that makes sound. A meltdown, it's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown, let's start the show.
Welcome back into The Meltdown as we're putting a bow on what is our biggest week ever here on the platform, and we appreciate all of you making it such a success as we played EA's College Football 25 all night long on Monday, and all of you have talked about how much you enjoyed that playthrough, along with Brian Pavlik providing his commentary, Spud making an appearance, and the entire cast of characters that we've had all week long. We've got a cast of characters here for you today as well. I am Meltdown host Tim Melton. That is my co-host, Mr. John Lunsford, constantly searching for himself. One day he'll find himself here in this tiny little studio. John, how are you holding up after the week that has been?
Be glad you guys have not been here, Brown, because I have been very sick this week. So
spoiler alert, Brown's the one that's here.
I wasn't on camera yet.
Oh my gosh, master of spoilers.
I've already teased it.
I can tell. I can tell by listening to you. I was talking to you earlier. I can hear the congestion.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you're feeling better. You're on the rebound?
No, yes, I'm on the rebound.
Okay, good.
Yes, it was worse early in the week. The whole office would have gotten sick.
Yeah. Did you go sit it out at your beach home in Rehoboth? Oh, wait a minute. That's another storyline. I'm sorry. It's political.
We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. Maybe,
I'm
maybe
sorry.
Not.
Did I cross the line I wasn't supposed to cross?
No, you're good. You're absolutely fine. We appreciate you being here. We've got producer Tyler back there with the new Culver's mascot this week. Who would you like to introduce, Tyler? As Brown, you're going to have to share that microphone.
I would like to introduce Mr. Culver Curdsworth to the panel. He's officially part of the Meltdown team.
If he goes missing, I blame John as the primary suspect because John doesn't like Mr. Culver's Curdworth for some reason.
I do like him. I just wanted his name to be Lil Meaty instead.
Lil Meaty?
Lil Meaty?
L-I-L.
That's the first time you added in Lil to it.
I thought Lil Meaty was better. I said that at home afterwards. I was like, I wanted to name him Meaty, and they wouldn't do it. I was like, Lil Meaty sounds better, though.
The better half to John Lunsford, that is Laurel, who's here with us on this fun Friday. It's not a fun Friday without Laurel. Laurel, how are you?
Sweet. I'm good. I was sick first, so then I passed it to John, and now here we are. So.
Thankfully, it has stopped with John because I have not gotten sick. Tyler has not gotten sick, and I don't think...
you wait till this weekend.
Okay.
Sorry.
So it's sort of a timed thing?
No, yeah, I'm just saying. You know.
Let's go ahead and get to our primary focus here, which is Ryan Brown returning to the Disrupt Media offices. Ryan, does it feel good to be back home?
It does. Always feels good to be back home. I don't mind traveling, but I'm always happy to be back home when I travel for more than, like a day or two, and that was a full week almost.
We are on a platform on YouTube that has a lot of different content creators that are living what is called the van life. Do you think you could live that on the road, living in a van throughout this country, 365 days?
No, so I've got a neighbor that in COVID sold their home, bought an RV, pulled their kids out of school because their husband can work anywhere. And they lived in our neighborhood. I mean, they were like 2 streets over. And decided, my wife, I didn't really know the husband. Well, my wife knew the wife. And they decided they were going to just travel America and see America and homeschool their kids in the RV. And my wife said, I thought about it, that sounds miserable. And I'm like, yeah, it does. It does sound awful. And I agree with her. Like, I don't like the confined space. I don't mind air travel. Like, I like to fly. I'm fine with that. I don't mind driving places that I haven't driven before. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Like, I like seeing new things. But if it's a drive I've done before, and I've done that drive to Dallas, it's just, I don't enjoy it as much.
How much did you drive?
We each took a state. So McCurry Van and Car Rental, one of our fine sponsors, gave us a van. And
we're hoping to give that van back.
Yes,
that is our hope.
Yes. I took Alabama. on the way out
Okay,
Sunday.
That's kind of cheap, but yeah.
I mean, it's Birmingham to the state line.
John, are you ever satisfied with
not.
other
I'm just
people's
saying
parameters?
That's what, an hour and a half of the drive?
Yeah, no. Much further. I always am stunned how much further it is to the state line once you get past Tuscaloosa.
Tuscaloosa, yeah.
Like you get to Tuscaloosa, you think, I'm almost to Mississippi. No, you're really not. And then Forrester took Mississippi. Dunaway took Louisiana, and then Forrester took Texas, the part of Texas to Dallas.
Scott's words to me, well, I did 90% of the driving.
That is incorrect. This morning, Scott took Texas. No, Louisiana. We stayed in Monroe. He took the remainder of Louisiana. Dunaway took Mississippi, and I took Alabama.
What is your exhaustion level right now? I mean, are you
I'm
pretty tired?
Yeah, I'm pretty tired. It was it's a long event. I mean, I know we're not busting blocks for a living. I get it. But SEC Media Days is far more work than we normally put in anything, right? So it is tiresome. And
especially the last couple of years. And you're also you're there with people you don't normally get to see that are some of our colleagues in the business. So every night there's a dinner and then drinks and a karaoke bar or something like that. So you're staying up later than you want to.
My favorite SEC Media Days story, and I was not really a part of it, but I was able to witness it, was you guys setting up shop at the Galleria in Hoover.
And McMillan's Big and Tall.
People still to this day thinking you guys have a store.
Yeah, we get it all the time. So
I see it all the time when I go up there.
Yeah,
I'll give you a picture.
They put our logo on the window. We had an extra logo put on the window, and they put a mannequin. There was a mannequin from Abercrombie Fitch that we went down and got the mannequin and put a Next Round T-shirt.
AKA
one of our original
a replica of Jim Shirtless.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that's right, absolutely. Yeah. And we put that in the window. And so we did Media Days. It was the first ever shows we did. It was the old McMillan's Big and Tall, and we did the 2021 Media Days from there. And
John, you were hiding behind a curtain.
I was hiding behind a curtain the whole time
for legal reasons. And when we got finished with the show, the Galleria people were like, "Hey, look, we don't have this space leased out yet. Do you mind leaving your logo up? It looks better than just an empty store." And we're like, "We're happy to do that. It's good advertising for us. It's still there.
It's still great advertising.
Still going strong over 3 years later."
So we'll just randomly get a text like, "Hey, what do y'all do in this space? Are y'all selling merchandise here?" And we're like, "No, it goes back to Media Days 2021. I'll never go over there." It would be a good space.
It would be a good space. It's right next to the Winfrey right there.
Probably sell a lot of merch from there.
Yeah, I don't know how we would manage it. I guess we'd have to hire a teenager to run the store, maybe. Tyler? You're not a teenager. No.
Tyler's in charge of the store here.
Yeah. So it is, we get comments on that all the time. And people from out of town that watch the show will tweet in and like, "Is this where you do the show from? I'm confused." So no, that is actually pretty.
It's always been the home away from home.
You want a funny story from this trip? We hadn't even told it on our show yet.
I would love a funny story from this trip.
So annually, the SEC Media Days, a lot of the media members do karaoke. And when it actually was birthed here in Birmingham at Gabriel's over in Hoover, and which is very close to the Galleria. So they were all staying near there at the Winfrey, and they would go do karaoke. So that has carried over now as Media Days has moved to Atlanta and Nashville and now Dallas. And there was a bar called the One-Eyed Penguin, which is, it was actually a pretty cool bar. It's not too far from the Omni Hotel.
That is exactly what Tyler calls the Dune popcorn bucket. And
the One-Eyed Penguin?
Yeah, I can see that. And I've never understood.
So this is a good karaoke bar. So me, Lance, his girlfriend Maddie, Dunaway, E.G., Little T, and Justin Hokanson of AuburnSports.com, we'd go to dinner, or not AuburnSports.com, AuburnLive.com, I'm sorry, Hoke. We'd all go to dinner, and we end up at the One-Eyed Penguin to do karaoke. I go to the restroom. I come back, and there's a guy, a complete stranger, talking to Little T, Taylor Corn. Has Little T ever been on the show? Like your audience knows Little T.
Yes, Little T has been on the show multiple times.
Beautiful young lady, so I'm not surprised she's getting hit on in a bar, right? And somebody's standing there talking to her. And as I walk up, she goes, "Oh, this is my dad, Ryan." I was like, "You couldn't come up with another lie? I'm your dad?"
So she used you as a way to
get out
escape.
of it, yes.
But you went along with it, I hope.
Well, the kid looks at me and says, "Oh, hello, sir. I was just hitting on your daughter, and this is very awkward now." And I said, "Well, then get on out of here." He goes, "Yes, sir." And he walked away. And I looked at her. I was like, "Uncle, brother, friend,
wait,
I
hold
had to
on.
be
You
your
took
dad?"
offense to this?
Huh?
She didn't say Grandpa Ryan.
No, she didn't say grandpa. Let me see my father. I mean, I know I'm old enough to be Little T's dad.
Yeah.
But still, because my wife, my wife one time pointed
So the one
out.
that fits the absolute most, you're offended.
Well, I mean, it was just her gut reaction was for to say it's her
hat
dad.
backwards so we can see brother really quick. Just do it like, hey.
Can you say what's up, fellow kids?
Hey, what's up, dogs?
You feel like you're the frat
Okay,
guy.
I actually
work?
buy. Yeah, you're playing
guy.
beer pong.
You're the cool guy right now.
cool guy. Hey, dog, you talking to my daughter? What's going on, man? Does that work?
That works, except
Okay.
for you just blew your own
I did
cover
say daughter,
by
didn't I?
saying
Yeah.
daughter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you just fell right into the trap.
So she introduced me as her dad. But one time my wife pointed out, like when we hired EG, and that she's basically Anna Kate's age. Anna Kate's my oldest daughter. And I was like, I really did not need to hear that, but it is true. I mean, my oldest daughter's almost
So hold
20.
on. You went on this trip to go cover SEC Media Days.
Correct.
And you came back with a midlife crisis?
I don't think I did. I'm going to look at a convertible in a moment. No, it was just her gut reaction. It came out of Little T's mouth so quickly, and I went along with it so quickly, and I'm like, well, I mean, it's just her dad.
Yeah. What the story should be is that you were a hero in this moment. That you
I did
saved
save her,
Little
yes.
T from awkwardness.
Yes, I did.
And
She
you should be
thanked me
taking
for it. She was
full
very
credit for
appreciative that I got her out of a situation she did not want to be in.
My gosh.
Yeah, but the guy.
And now the awkwardness is here.
Yeah, I know. The guy was like, oh, hello, sir. I was just hitting on your daughter, and this is very uncomfortable now. Very awkward now. So, well, beat it, punk.
This is the most Dunaway-esque I've ever seen you. I'm going to be honest. This would be a Dunaway. He would be very... He would be taking this approach, I think.
Okay,
I think
Taylor.
you shouldn't let it affect your
So you
ego.
didn't say grandfather.
I said, then you get to grandfather, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask this. What was the best thing you ate on this trip?
I like Texas barbecue. I could not convince. There's a place in Fort Worth called Joe T. Garcia's, which is one of my favorite restaurants in the world. And Joe T. Garcia's is a very large Tex-Mex that does not accept cards. They're cash only.
Yeah.
There's a line to get in that is normally, it's fast moving, but it's normally somewhere around 30 minutes. They have no menu. So to me, if you combine a place that's been in business that long when they don't accept credit cards, they don't have a menu, and people wait in a line to get in, it's got to be good,
Gotta
right?
be good, yeah.
Yeah,
I would
it's
hope.
phenomenal is what it is. You order fajitas or enchiladas.
They play by their own rules.
They play by their own rules. You sit down, would you like fajitas, enchiladas, or both? And that's the order. And they bring you chips and salsa, and they got margs and stuff like that. But, I mean, there's no menu. So I was desperate to go there, but I could not convince people. It's about a 40-minute drive from downtown Dallas because it's in Fort Worth. But I also love Texas barbecue. And I'd eaten at a place in Austin called Terry Black's Barbecue, which is, Austin has got a bunch of these places too, but there's one of those in Dallas. So we went there. You drive past Pecan Lodge to get there. Pecan Lodge is supposed to be the best barbecue Texas smokehouse in Dallas. So you drive past it to get there. It's very close to Pecan Lodge, but it was terrific. I got some of the brisket and some of the what did I get? I got brisket, sides. Their banana pudding is really, really good. Oh, it's sausage. Some of their smoked sausage as well.
What's the biggest difference between Texas barbecue and barbecue you'd find right here in our
Well,
backyard in Birmingham?
it's primarily beef. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of brisket in Texas.
Right.
They know how to do brisket in Texas and a beef rib. You can't get beef. I don't know anywhere around here that serves those big beef ribs the way they do.
I'm just glad to hear food from the person who I know respects food on
I
the
do
show.
respect food.
Because your on-air wife of like 30 years came in and did nothing but complain about it the entire time. When I said, "How was your trip?" Food, man. Food was awful on the trip.
He said that?
Yes. And he's like, "Let me tell you, I went to this place and I messed my order up there." And then he talked about the barbecue place and he's like, "I went through and I got this and this and this, and then I wanted ribs. I got to the end and like, you want pork?" And he's like, "No, I want beef. I can eat pork at home." And he talked about that big
it's
rib
massive,
that
the
he
big
had.
beef rib, yeah.
And he said he had spent $80-something on it because that one rib is all based on weight, and he got this one beef rib that was like that big. There's a video. You can go to Next Round Live on Twitter and see the video of it, and he's like, "I just spent like $80. That rib alone was like $50." He's like, "I'm the worst at ordering food." I was like, "It's just a you problem."
Well, it is. I mean, don't
everybody
dog the
problem.
restaurant because you don't know how to order. But, most of the Texas barbecue restaurants, smokehouse restaurants, you order by the pound. And I told EG and Little T had never done that. And I was like, just tell them you want 2 pieces of brisket. You don't have to order by the pound. They just tell you what the price is by the pound.
3 pounds.
Then a lot of people will just give me a pound of brisket. Well, a pound of brisket's a lot of brisket. I mean, you're gonna be eating a lot. A pound of turkey's a lot of turkey.
Let's talk a little bit more about the event you went to go cover, SEC Media Days. Do you like Dallas as a host site for SEC Media Days? Obviously, this is a first.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long way to travel for the vast majority of the media. I mean, it's on the edge of the conference, of the Southeastern Conference. It'd be no different than having it at Myrtle Beach, right? You'd be on the other edge of the Southeastern Conference. In Dallas and Oklahoma, people will be like, what the crap? Dallas, I like Dallas. I like Fort Worth a lot better, frankly. Fort Worth's a better city than Dallas, in my opinion. But as a host, it was fine. I mean, they rolled out the red carpet. They're excited to be in the Southeastern Conference. The Omni Hotel is a very nice hotel.
There were like 1,000 things going on where you guys were located.
Well, the Major League All-Star game was one of them.
Hey,
the Major League Baseball All-Star game.
Thank goodness the Paul Tyson fight, because it's supposed to be tomorrow.
In Dallas?
The original date was supposed to be tomorrow.
In Dallas?
Yeah, in Dallas.
Where were they going to do it?
At Jerry World.
At Jerry World?
So luckily it got moved, or else that would have been a whole, another 100,000 people that would have been
there.
There
Was some massive conference in our hotel too, like some chambers of commerce. All these city chambers of commerce were in. The Omni's a great hotel, though. I had no problem with it being in Dallas. I mean, they've got to do it somewhere, right?
Rank the 4 locations that it's been.
How do you want me to rank them? To rank them based on how it works for us, or just the cities themselves?
How it works for us.
See, I disagree. I think nobody wants to hear how it works for us. I think they want to hear overall experience.
I'll do both. I think Nashville is number one for both. I love the city of Nashville. I think entertainment-wise, everything is walkable because they do it at that new Grand Hyatt, which is on
just hopefully no
Lower
construction
Broadway.
next year or next time.
Well, construction was awful. You were there for that. But it's on Lower Broadway. You can walk to Lower Broadway, and that's where everybody wants to go in Nashville.
Yeah.
So everything is centralized. I thought that the setup there was really, really good. Atlanta, they do it at the College Football Hall of Fame. There's really, if you know where that is right next to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. There's nothing walkable there. What do you want to do in Atlanta? I mean, tell me, if you go to Atlanta, what do you want to do?
We usually go for concerts. I
there you go.
I don't
Normally
do,
I'm in and out. I don't want to hang
I
out
don't
in
do
Atlanta.
downtown Atlanta. We go to other
There you go.
aspects of
Okay,
Atlanta
so
where
you
you're
guys
not there at
stumbled
all. So,
across the issue with Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
And then also it was not very workable for us space-wise. It's never coming back to Birmingham. So I would say Dallas is probably second. Nashville's the best place for it. Nashville's a great city. I love Nashville.
It's Atlanta next year, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is Atlanta next year. They'll probably go back to Nashville. They're going to move it around. I gave the commissioner the idea, Greg Sankey, the Southeastern Conference commissioner.
Great
he
idea.
said it's the first time he'd ever thought of this, of doing it at Disney World.
I think it's
Oh,
perfect.
that'd be so fun.
Come on.
ESPN,
I mean, just
ABC,
Orlando in general is a good place to
right.
do
Yeah.
it.
Disney
So-
is a business partner of the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
I mean, they're paying the freight, so why not do it
right.
at Disney World?
Right.
And my suggestion to him was give the media
Go to the Wild World of Sports, have it there.
That's
and
right.
then
That's
you
where they
have
do all the stuff
of-
with all the races and everything.
Is it still the ESPN
It
Wide
is.
World of
Yep.
Sports?
Yeah. Go for it.
And I said, I think the media should get discounted, park rates, right?
Now, you could say, well, Orlando is technically outside because you stop at Gainesville. You're not going down to Miami and UCF, all that.
Yeah.
But is it really any different than going to Dallas?
No, I don't think so.
So
Plus
you
you have
just got to
Disney
make the
World.
promise that if your idea works and the commissioner moves forward with that you will make sure the Meltdown is a part of that.
I will,
coverage.
yeah,
Okay,
and
that's what I
I'll
mean.
get full credit from the commissioner publicly. I would hope. I did not think of this till Ryan Brown in the next round brought it up.
Yeah.
But we'll bring you guys along. Yeah,
I've
Yeah.
watched almost every single one of the interviews that you guys have conducted out there in
That's
Dallas. It's the truth.
Well, thank you.
And the one that sticks with me, and maybe I'm misreading the situation here, but it feels like you all have a man crush on Quinn Ewers of Texas. Am I reading the room right?
No,
here?
you're absolutely right. So here's something about our show for those that don't watch our show is if somebody comes on and is a good interview and gives us a lot, we become big fans of those people, and I think that's understandable, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So and there have frequently been people that have come on and I either had no opinion about or I had a bad opinion about, and they've either given me a good opinion or changed my bad opinion about them. Quinn Ewers is a guy I just thought was a cocky punk. He kind of came across that way. Don't you agree?
Is it a Texas thing?
Yes.
Well, it was Texas. Then he goes to Ohio State and he transfers back to Texas. He had the mullet. He just kind of came across that way. He comes in our room where we were doing our show during a break. Could not have been nicer when he came in. The interview, he was a really good interview. He was very gracious. He was very humble. He had fun. We were doing a goofy game. These kids that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
We're going to talk about that in just a second.
Okay. He got a Bass Pro Shop gift card, and he was legitimately excited about a $25 Bass Pro Shop
What a
gift
way.
card.
Yeah.
Just down to earth. I became a big Quinn Ewers fan. Yeah, it's going to be hard to pull against that guy. I don't deny that. I got to make her. But I like Jalen Milroe too, and Peyton Thorne too. I mean, those are the in-state quarterbacks. But yeah, Quinn Ewers changed my
There's the
mind.
political game right there.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
guys are doing
I know how to
more.
play
TNR is doing more to pump up our economy than any politician, and I'll tell you why. Because they are giving $20, $25 gift cards, whatever it may be,
That's right.
to millionaires to go into these stores.
I know.
Yeah.
I think the stores are going to be rather happy that you're sending a bunch of millionaires their way.
I would agree with you. I think they should be, but I mean, it was amazing how legitimately excited some of them got over it. I mean, Quinn Ewers is no telling how much that guy's worth.
Yeah.
And you got excited about a Bass Pro Shop gift card.
So y'all were handing out gift cards, but then you allowed them to compete in this bucket game.
That's right.
That became its own thing.
Yep. Throw a ball in a bucket for cash.
Where occasionally millionaires would win a $20 bill, and
Yep.
Jim would make a joke about gas money, and y'all
That's
pat
right.
him on the back and let him go.
Yep.
It was an odd look, wasn't it? I mean, was it an odd feeling having, and the fact that so many of these competitors took it so seriously,
Yeah.
I think was
very
the
good at
oddest part of this
that
whole
was
thing.
the funny part is they wanted to win the money just to win. They didn't
Milrow
need
was
the
like
money.
3 strikes, right?
Yeah.
3 strikes.
Yeah, like, I mean, Kalen DeBoer, the new Alabama head coach, is standing there like evaluating, should I toss it underhand or overhand? Hugh Freeze is asking, how did everybody else do? The Auburn head coach. Jalen Milrow, who did the 3 strikes?
That was Jalen Milrow,
Was that
yeah.
Milrow? Yeah. Milrow's like, wait a minute, he missed it twice. There's 3
Then
strikes.
he sank the third one.
Yeah, he sank the third one. So I mean, you had like you said, guys that are legitimate millionaires, probably professional football players of the future,
Yeah.
wanting to win.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers hit them both. Our man crush, Quinn Ewers, hit both of them. So we were just trying to find a way to have fun and for people to leave our room and remember it. Right? I mean,
It was memorable.
Quinn Ewers or Jalen Milrow. To remember it and maybe go back upstairs, like, hey, I was just down there with the next round and they're giving cash away. Word circulated. Like we would go back upstairs where all the rest of the media was, and they would be like, here, you guys are giving cash away downstairs.
Some random Radio Row guy walks in. It's like, hey, you want to interview me?
Yeah,
Who
you
are
let me know
I
if
have
you
no
need me
idea.
to come down there.
I just want
I'll
some
do
money.
an interview. Yeah.
The low-key funniest part of that whole experience is that every time they're walking to go play the bucket game, Jim would ask, do you like coffee? And they'd 70% of the time go, absolutely not. I do not like coffee. And then Jim wouldn't know what to do after.
Okay.
He'd start apologizing.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a bit crowded there. We did the gift card.
Right.
Then they're going to play the game, which also by playing the game, they got in a Roback drawing for a $250
I thought we
Roback
played
gift
a lot
card.
of games on this show, but you guys.
We just crammed it all together. So I had to do the Roback part, and we gave everyone coffee. So Jim did the next round coffee read. So yeah, it got a bit crowded there. I don't deny that.
Laurel would have loved going for the box because then magically a second option appears, like it's Monty Hall on Let's Make a Deal or something.
You
It's
have
like,
a wrapped box
You have a wrapped
or
box.
an envelope.
so we ended up, the box goes to
Tyler
Tyler
Booker.
Booker.
That's right,
And he
Alabama
opens it
offensive
up,
lineman.
and it is a Britney Spears Monopoly game.
Yeah, and he gets legitimately excited about it. I love
But
Monopoly.
because who would not get excited about that?
But he was hilarious because he had just come from the Boys and Girls Club where he was playing NCAA football against them. And he was beating the kids like 35-3 at the Boys and Girls Club. And I said, that is just brilliant because, man, they just need to learn how to play the game. And I said, what would you do if a kid just broke down in tears and dropped the controller? And he goes, I'd say, who's got next game?
Yeah. This is how I've felt all week long, for sure. I've heard the complaints about the game. That was a big sort of looming conversation point, the release of this game.
Oh, yeah.
The excitement.
All these players.
Did you ever see anybody in person playing it at the event?
A guy named John Neighbors, who works out of Arkansas, a good guy that's doing kind of what he left radio and is in a digital platform, much like what we're doing, and in fact leaned on us for some advice in doing that. Had a TV set up at his table and had the game being played, which we considered doing that, but it was just going to be a lot.
You guys had buckets. There was too
we
much
had
going on with
buckets
the
with
buckets.
money. I don't think he was giving money away, but people were playing it. Yeah.
Yeah. It was something that you could feel the presence of that game radiating through coverage all week long, for sure. We've been covering that game nonstop. This is actually the first day we will not play the game, which I think both Tyler and John are probably pretty happy about.
I played the game a lot this morning.
Tyler
So-
just said, I need a break. When I show
I
my
destroyed Reed multiple times this morning.
Wow.
Poor guy.
Reed hasn't been hitting the sticks the way he should. You guys visited the JFK assassination site. Was that your first time being at that spot?
Nope. I've been 4 times now. That was my 4th time. None of the other crew had been. So when I told them, they were well aware of the fact that I don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald killed John F. Kennedy. In fact, I'm not even sure he was involved, other than being a patsy that took the brunt. And I told them all that, so they knew where I stood. And I said, but you guys, I want you to have an open mind. I'll take you. It's walking distance from the Omni. It's only a few blocks from the Omni Hotel. And I said, we'll walk over there and look. I'm genuinely curious what you all believe after looking at it. None of them had been there. So they all go and look, and all of them are like, Brown, I see what you're saying now. There is no way if these X's, because there are X's on the road where the first bullet hit and the second bullet hit, if that's where the bullets actually hit, there's no way it came from that window right there, which I've always maintained, especially the fact that his head goes back on the second shot. I mean, clearly the bullet hit him from the front of his head. And the magic bullet theory is just completely absurd. The fact that they tried to sell the magic bullet theory is absolutely absurd. It is abundantly clear that the shots came from in front of the vehicle, either from the railroad trestle, which crosses Elm, and there were people on that, or from the grassy knoll behind the wood picket fence just to the right. And everyone agreed that there is no way it came from the school book depository in Lee Harvey Oswald.
Cousin Brother Brown, brought to you by.
Yep.
If you ever got the security clearance to look, at the files on everything that they have on the JFK assassination, would that be something you would pour hours into reading over?
I don't know that I'd pour hours into it. I'd prefer someone I trust to pour hours into it.
Right.
And just tell it down for
Okay,
me.
Brown, which one would you rather know? Okay, would you rather see who really killed JFK, or would you want to know if JFK had Marilyn Monroe killed?
Well, I know what Laurel
It's
would
got to be
want
the
now.
first one. I mean, you
I
don't.
think I'd go with the first one.
But the second one's such a mystery,
Yeah.
and everyone wants the journal. No one's been able to ever locate that journal that she has.
Yeah.
That a lot of her stuff got auctioned off a few years ago, and there was a letter to JFK that they did find that got auctioned off.
Yeah.
Just uncover the JFK files and let's just go.
Yeah.
So
Get all the answers
I mean,
there.
I think in any murder, right, you have to ask the question, who stood to benefit the most?
Right.
I mean, that's one of the questions you have to ask. And as it relates to JFK, I've not given much thought to the Marilyn Monroe, but as it relates to the JFK murder, there are a lot of people that stood to gain from his murder. Lee Harvey Oswald, not one of them, but I mean, the communists stood to gain from his murder. Lyndon B. Johnson stood to gain from his murder. The War Machine, because he was trying to withdraw from Vietnam, stood to gain from his murder. Some would argue the mafia stood to gain from his murder. I mean, there are a lot of people where if you said, well, I will start with just the basic question, who would have motive?
Right.
There were a lot of people that had a big motive in that. So,
And who knows what Lee Harvey Oswald would have known had he not been taken out by Jack Ruby.
and that's the rest of it. Like, okay, so this guy supposedly killed the president of the United States. Okay. So we've arrested this guy, which, by the way, they found him pretty quickly in Dallas, Texas, right? I mean, we put a lot of clues together really quickly to find this guy. So he now becomes the most valuable prisoner in the entire world at that moment. If you go back to that moment, there's not another prisoner
1,000%.
in the entire world that is more valuable than that prisoner. And a nightclub owner walks into a police station with a loaded gun, walks up to the most valuable prisoner in the world who was just being paraded somewhat in the public. I mean, it was in the basement of the police
On live TV.
on live TV, and shoots and kills him before he can ever answer questions about it or stand trial.
Right.
I mean, if that doesn't make you ask questions, I just don't know.
Do you? I know we're kind of going off on a different path here, but I do have a legitimate question for you. Do you think we're getting to a point here in our culture where the equivalence of asking questions is being looked at as being violent here in this country?
Violent?
Violent. Like almost asking questions is violence. You know, they've brought on a lot of experts here lately, like on CNN. They brought on experts to talk about the assassination attempt on Trump.
That's right.
And then they ask these experts who have been in the field studying sniper attacks for years their opinions, and then censor them when they then give their opinions, saying it's not the right time, it's not the right moment, the temperature is too extreme right now to actually be talking about theories and questions and raising all this stuff. I just feel like we're getting to a point where having conversations in this country is becoming more and more difficult, even though we have the platforms to be able to do it as freely as ever.
No, I would agree 100% with you on that. I've not thought of it in terms of violence. Like, it just seems like if you want to have certain conversations now, you're automatically labeled as one side or the other, right?
Correct.
Whether or not you truly believe that, if you just ask obvious questions like, oh, he must be a conservative, oh, he must be a liberal, where you may not be. You may just look at it and say, this doesn't add up. And I would just like, or this just, why would I believe in this? I just want to ask more questions. Does it lead to violence? Maybe. I don't know. I had thought of it in those terms.
I feel like it's being persecuted almost.
Maybe.
As much as doing something like punching somebody across the face, saying something that is disagreeable. I don't know. It just,
I think, I mean, there are people in this room who like my friend Clay Travis and people in this room who dislike my friend Clay Travis. I get that, Clay. That's Clay's whole life. But I do think Clay makes a good point that a lot of times in this society, words mean more than actions, which is kind of strange to me.
It is.
Words get punished. Words get punished more than action sometimes.
Let's go to the most controversial subject that I'm going to bring up today. And this will be our last one with you because I promised you 10 minutes and here we are in a half hour.
That's quite all right.
Here's my question.
Yep.
Why are you a Mario Party fan? Because you pulled me to the side and you said, hey, I want to play some Mario Party when you guys get back playing on the Switch. And that caught me off guard. I did not pin you down as a Mario Party fanatic, and I don't think John or Tyler did either.
Fanatic is a bit of an overstatement.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not a fanatic, but
you were scratching and you sounded like you had an addiction. Like, I need some of that Mario Party, man.
I have played it a lot with my kids and my family. My whole family has played it. I like it that it includes strategy and the fun games. I think it's the best of both worlds. Like, you get a little bit of strategy of, which way do I go? When do I use my things, right? And then you get to play the fun games, and it's quick and it's fast moving.
It's a little bit of strategy.
Well, I mean, there's
definitely strategy of when you want to use your items, when you want to end up holding them back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Which one do you like best? Which world do you like best?
In the latest edition, see, there's so many different editions.
I don't think I have the one we played. I don't think it's the latest.
My edition has the I don't know how to describe it. The one where you're on the fruits, it's like a watermelon and something like that.
Is it gold? It's like a gold.
There's one that's gold. There's one that it's got.
This is the edition we've been playing. I like the one that's gold, where your goal is just to reach the end of the map, but the price of the star changes every single round. Based on what's happened previously.
Yeah,
I like that one.
I enjoy it. I like Mario Party.
We're gonna get you in here.
Yeah, I want to come play it one day. I told you that. But I mean, I like Mario Kart, Super Mario Brothers, any of the Mario. I think the Mario franchise has been really well done.
Did you ever see the Mario movie?
The
came out a year ago.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I guess I would have remembered. Who was the star who played Mario?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. I like Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. You probably would.
Was it a good flick?
I enjoyed it, but
it accomplished its goal.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but it's just it's something fun to breeze through. It's not a real thinker. Not going to be testing your theories.
So I was thinking on Lunce's
no
list.
JFK talking that way.
Yeah,
no JFK talk.
I was thinking on Lunce's list. I was trying to think of natural disaster movies. The original Twister was just okay. I'm interested to hear what you guys say about the second one. Did y'all like the first one?
I liked the first
Yeah.
one.
Oh, really?
I really liked the first one.
Did you?
did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was good. I was trying to think Day After Tomorrow. That's a natural.
I just think Armageddon. That's all I think of.
Let me give you the underrated one, which I'm not sure anybody in here has even seen. Maybe Laurel. Dante's Peak.
I told you Dante's Peak this morning.
I have not seen it.
Pierce Brosnan. Yeah.
Dante's Peak is very underrated. Volcano movie.
Give me some other natural disaster movies. I'm trying to think.
See, I know they make me uncomfortable.
2012.
I don't want to see something that can actually happen. Like when we watched Don't Look Up, that made me concerned. Like I didn't sleep for like a week after it. I don't like those movies.
The Day After Tomorrow. Did you ever see that?
I mentioned The Day After
2012.
Tomorrow. Yeah. It was only okay. I wasn't
agree.
crazy about that.
It wasn't.
Tyler said 2012. I haven't seen 2012.
Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones.
Nope.
I said Zombieland today, and John said those are zombies. That's not real.
I do not like.
I don't consider zombie movies natural disaster movies.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't like post-apocalyptic movies. Those
I
just
do
don't.
like post-apocalyptic movies. I don't like natural disaster movies. Now that can lead to a post-apocalyptic movie.
Be able to combine them both.
Yeah.
I've
I
never
want some
been
alien to make it happen. Or something.
Yeah, the post-apocalyptic stuff is number one, very difficult for me to say, and number two has just never appealed to my.
It's bleak.
It is bleak. Like I agree that Will Smith played a good role in I Am a Legend. Thank you. I agree that it was a good role. I hated the movie.
We're constantly looking to have different people around the office go to the films with us, movies that they probably will enjoy. Like we're going to get Lance to go see Gladiator 2 with us, which is his most anticipated movie of the year.
Right.
I look at the film slate, and Brown, you're a complicated guy because I can't figure out a single film that I'm like, that would be a good Ryan Brown movie. I haven't figured one out yet.
Okay. Do you want to throw some out that are out right now, and I'll tell you if I think it would be good for me?
I don't think you want to see Joker 2.
No, I didn't see Joker 1.
Don't
I
think
assume you're not a Gladiator person.
No, I would like. I enjoyed the original
I
Gladiator.
can see you liking Gladiator.
Yeah, but I mean, but
You
I
like
would say
Denzel, don't
Lance
you?
is better, huh?
You like Denzel, don't you?
I do like Denzel. Yeah.
Would you be okay with a Gladiator movie that is very not historically accurate? Would that drive you insane throughout the whole thing? If it's like
no, I don't mind suspending reality.
There's a lot of historians that don't necessarily like the trailer that's come out.
Real characters, more made up story.
Well, we laugh
Using real
about,
characters.
you still got Denzel going, my man. You know,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think people talk like that back then, but that's Denzel.
But how do we know?
I mean, you were
You
there.
don't know. You're absolutely right. You don't know. But I mean, I don't mind suspending reality for a movie. Like, even if you're watching a movie about something in history, if it's not 100% historically
well, you're like a big
accurate,
Bridgerton
whatever.
fan. I feel like that's.
wasn't
you?
an
Are
insult.
you
I would
not?
call it a fanatic.
But you
but
and your wife enjoy it.
my wife and I
It's
have
a
watched
good
Bridgerton.
The first season, I think, it's one of the best. I loved it.
was fantastic.
The first season's amazing.
Yeah. This season wasn't my favorite, but the first season was good.
Yeah, that's the second one okay. The
yeah.
third one, but the first one was really good.
We are we're rewatching The Americans right now, so I got to get back and get in on that. But My Lady Jane, a lot of people have told Jennifer, is as good as Bridgerton.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Yeah.
I think it's on Amazon.
Okay, I need to look that.
Yeah.
Do you ever seek out scary movies at all? Do you
I'm not a
horror
big
movies at
scary
all?
movie guy. I
big
like
scary movies.
I don't like sports movies, which you would think I would.
I kind of could see him liking Trap.
All right, give me a synopsis.
Here's the synopsis. Josh Hartnett takes his daughter to a Taylor Swift type concert, right?
Okay.
It's a big event.
Gotcha.
Takes her, she's probably 13 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
Takes her there and goes, you know what? I'm going to head to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom and he notices that the police have set up a barricade all around the arena.
Okay.
And it starts to freak him out a little bit. So he goes to the merch guy and he's like, hey, can you tell me what the heck's going on? And the merch guy goes, yeah. So the feds have figured out that this notorious serial killer is here within the building and this is a trap set up because they think that he's not going to be able to get out. If they surround the building, they send in law enforcement, and they're going to be able to get this serial killer. Finally, for the last time, he's going to be behind bars. And he's like, wow, that's crazy. That's insane. So he goes to the bathroom, he locks the door, and then you realize in the trailer,
He's the killer.
Josh Hartnett is the killer. And so the whole premise is, how's he going to get out of this
So
situation?
the trailer reveals that.
The trailer reveals
away.
that, which makes me wonder what other twists we're going to be
Yeah.
seeing.
Yeah,
I think it's going to make a ton of money.
So you think it's going to be twisty?
Oh, is it not Shyamalan?
Yeah.
Oh, lost me there.
Okay, I went through that whole thing. See,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is why
yeah.
when I looked at
Bro,
the
you need
calendar,
to look up more on Marilyn Monroe and JFK. I feel like you would enjoy this. I've been thinking about this for 15 minutes now. I think you.
So you think JFK had her killed
Absolutely.
because she had the goods on him, or because she
all
had
the
fallen
things that
for Robert?
All the things that you mentioned about like the mafia and
Yeah.
all of that ties to her too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that. I mean,
But
her,
she was having an affair with Robert Kennedy
both
too,
of them,
right?
Yeah.
And
But the weird thing is, before she was about to die, I think she was about to get back together with
With
Joe,
John?
Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio.
You know, she and Joe DiMaggio are married. You know, he has a whole family. Like he has
Yeah.
children.
Still
and was
married with her, though, yeah.
And he is, and that was like his dying words. Like, "Fine, I get to be with Marilyn." So
Jeez.
this has gone
it's
from
interesting.
Mario Party to Monroe Party real quick.
it really
Just look
has.
into it. I'm just telling you.
Is
Okay.
it their thought that Jackie may have like been part of it?
May have had him killed.
Like the like.
That's what
I mean,
cousin brother Matt
But I
said.
feel like I had heard that before that even too. That like because if you're talking about JFK and Marilyn Monroe, that like is there like a Jackie aspect to
There's
him
one
dying
of the
too?
conspiracy theories is that she had a small pistol and she fired the first shot.
because it makes more sense with like his head going
That's
back
right,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Or
yeah.
maybe the second shot. I don't know. You know, the first shot, he grabs his throat.
Yeah.
And then the second shot, his head goes back. So it clearly came from in front of him.
Just if we're talking about his relations, I just thought that
Yeah.
could be
The-
awesome.
no, there is I've never really.
I mean, there's some weird stuff if you look
Yeah.
into her, because I had to do a project on it when I was in high school. I did a research paper on it, and it's wild. Like
Yeah.
and there's even more stuff now, because I
Right.
mean, that was years ago.
So I would think, Tim, you've probably got some insight on this based on what your father did, but I would think, in homicide situations, there's crimes of passion, right? Which
Absolutely.
the Jackie would be a crime of passion. But then, there are other factors, and I always default towards the who had the most to gain factor in
Yeah.
somebody dying.
I know that in my dad's life, one thing that really affected him was the JFK assassination because he
Really?
was young. He was in biology class.
Yeah.
And the entire class, he went to school here in Alabama, and the entire class was like celebrating that JFK had been shot and killed.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. And it upset him very much. And he stood up and he said, doesn't matter who the president of the
No,
United
not at
States
all.
is. When you have something like that occur,
Yeah.
it's very disrespectful. And it affected him for years that was the reaction, that there
Did
was
he have
like
a
people
theory on it?
celebrating. A theory on the
the
JFK
killer,
assassination. He never really got into the theory
Okay.
on it. No.
That's
I think
interesting.
if you were to ask him, he'd say that, Cuba or something probably had a pretty big hand in it.
Again, they would have something to gain in that.
Yeah.
Have you ever read or watched 11/22/63?
I have not. Is it good?
I have not read the book.
That's the Stephen King.
It's a Stephen King book, but they did a show on Hulu. It's a 6-part show that James Franco is the main person in it. But it's all about trying to keep the assassination from happening, and then what happens if that were to happen.
I did not like the Oliver Stone movie, JFK. I did not like that.
Never saw it.
You never saw that?
No.
I didn't like it either.
I am not interested in the JFK aspect. I was interested in the time traveling and like kind of science fiction aspect of 11/22/63.
There's a movie called The Final Countdown. Have you ever seen that old movie?
Have not.
It's again, you got to suspend reality. An aircraft carrier, a modern day aircraft carrier, gets caught in a really bad storm, which causes it to travel back in time. All right, the storm that is caught is not just as normally happens, right?
Yeah.
So the aircraft carrier travels back in time. They take a little bit to realize where they are, and they realize they're in 1942, and they're very close to Pearl Harbor, and Japanese planes show up on their radar. Their radar still magically works, even though they're back in time, and they have to determine, do we alter history by stopping? We could easily, with our technology.
I have seen this.
Have you seen this?
Yes.
With our technology, we could easily stop the attack on Pearl Harbor and save thousands of lives, but what would be the effect of stopping America from getting into World War II? And that's their discussion. Like, if this never happens, the United States may never get into World War II. And then what happens in the European theater?
Yeah, and you have those type of questions even with current events of like what happens if
the old butterfly effect. Yeah,
the old butterfly effect, and it really is a rabbit hole that you can go down, especially with hours upon hours of YouTube people that are ready to get on there and talk.
And I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy. I don't want people to think that. Lunsford's far bigger in conspiracy theories than I am.
Just because I said Britney Spears is dead, I'm all in on conspiracy
theories.
That is
one that I would not be. I mean, there is a lot of things.
That Britney Spears is dead.
Oh yeah. I mean,
John gets at least half of his conspiracy theories from Laurel, so it works out.
Yeah. And I am just getting them from what people are saying. Would it be that shocking
that Britney Spears is dead? I just think there's far too much content out there that appears to
on her social media.
I'm
just shocked at the difference in her. I mean, I guess it's just been so many years, but like I grew up with her. I was obsessed with her.
It's called mental illness.
But I'm just saying,
but she's clearly aged in the videos.
But she's just like different. Like there is just something that.
To be fair, she's been looking rough for a while though.
She has.
But like there will be things where she'll put, and there's clearly been a filter that's put on because like it'll zoom out. I mean, there's people that have dedicated as weird as it sounds, have dedicated their life to being like, we gotta free her, we gotta find her.
No, so I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy. The Kennedy one though, I really didn't have. I doubted Lee Harvey Oswald's participation, and then when I finally visited Dealey Plaza, I think it was 2016 maybe when I visited, I was like, oh, now I know. Like I doubted it, but going there and seeing it with my own two eyes.
Now I have this image of you at like night, and you've got like a house coat on. You have like your coffee. You sit down and get on Reddit. It's like conspiracy. You get on.
You got the red yarn on a board behind you, trying to tie everything together.
Oh my God, I figured out who did it.
It's like news today.
Yeah. But I don't know that like if it was unsealed, like President Trump said he was going to unseal it and then didn't, and all these presidents. It wouldn't change my life, but I would be fascinated to know who actually they believe. Well,
it's like they've casually brought up that there's aliens. They have brought up like the UFO, and no one made a big deal about it because there were so many other things going on. It's like,
I know.
Well, what are we going to do about it? I think there's this sense of
you're right.
If aliens are here, then that's just another thing to add to the list of things to worry about.
That's just never really that bothered me one way or the other.
Supposedly they're giants. Supposedly they're like 8 foot tall, and I'm like, my people have.
I know you'll fit right in, Milton. He's one of ours.
Yeah, I can blend in with these people.
Look, he's here on the reconnaissance. Milton is. He's the lead.
Yeah, you have something to write about on Reddit tonight.
I know.
I've got one.
We always thought Tyler was the alien. It's actually you. Yes.
Don't give up my cover here, Brown.
I'm sorry.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time
with
us.
We
took way too much of your time
didn't.
today.
I enjoyed this. This is my second appearance on the show. No, actually, trivia. It's my third appearance on the show.
It was short, but
the trivia was short.
This time you weren't anchored down by Dunaway and his lack of getting.
I didn't get enough.
Right.
Hey, the best question answerer before the finals was Ryan Brown.
It's true.
Which one? The only one I answered correctly, right?
You were 2-0.
It was the Blue Bonnet is the official flower of the state of Texas.
It was, but you got another one in there, and it was it Captain Phillips, was that question yours?
Yep,
Yep.
it was.
Yeah, that's what it
I
was.
was
Yeah,
say-
the Maersk, Alabama.
Brown, you have probably one of the best lines. You know when Sean challenged for the, because I watched it on the documentary, which everyone should check out. That John
the
did.
lines we put together.
And that when Sean threw the flag, and Tim says, "Well, let me think about this," and Brown goes, "Wait, you're the one that's making the it's like the person that made up the questions is
I
getting
try to be
all the
fair.
Judge, jury, and executioner over there.
I
so-
try to be fair with
Yeah.
everything that comes up with. Yeah, but if you remember, it was Tyler who had the deciding vote on that because I was totally, if I was
Throw that
outnumbered,
blame back on poor Tyler.
no, if I was outnumbered, I would have been
Well,
the bigger man and I would have
right.
said, okay, I'm going
And,
to
and it
accept
was
your
about the
challenge.
British royal family, and as I pointed out, known Brit Tyler Johns was the one that was like, I can rule.
But Tyler
decisively
flip flops more than anybody because
Yeah.
the next day he's like, Tim, you were wrong for that. I was like, what are you talking about, Tyler? I mean, you broke the tie. Anyway, we're lucky to still all be friends after this week of EA College Football 25
That's
for
good.
sure. It has been very intense. Do you plan to play a little bit this
I
season?
don't. I'm not a big video game guy.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
other than Mario Party.
Other than Mario Party, we played Madden. I quickly lost interest, as these two will tell you, in the Madden tournament.
What about Triple Threat Trivia Singles Division? Is that something?
I'm willing to. I'm willing to play.
Okay.
Always.
We will
Anything for
line
you
that
guys.
up. We'll make
Yep.
that happen. John is the current world champion, and he has been very confident that he will hold on to that there for a long
Beautiful
time.
trophy.
Speaking of becoming more confident, John, Way to Wellness, giving us more and more confidence every single day.
Hey, you guys have a nice weekend.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Ryan.
Good job, Brown. Good job this week. Go to aplanforme.com. You too can get a plan that will work for you. Like I have a plan, like Tim has a plan, like Jim Dunaway has a plan that, you know, he may have gone off this past week, but with that big old beef rib that he showed me, but he's going to get back on it because he has a plan that works for him. My dad has a plan that works for him. Go to aplanforme.com and you too can get a plan that will work for you with Leslie and her whole board certified team there helping us out. Look how happy we look. We'll probably go weigh in next week maybe and see where our weight total is, but we are over 80 pounds combined down between Tim and I. You too can lose that weight and keep it off thanks to our friends at Way to Wellness.
We have James who sent in a super chat, and we really do appreciate all the support that we've gotten in the chat all week long, saying, John, that team builder is amazing. I'm going to need to learn how to get that on PS5 somehow. Very well done. I'm going to DM you on Twitter.
Before you came in, I was playing as Birmingham Southern against Alabama. It was fun to live a little nostalgia there. I played Reed. He was out. Alabama lost their first game. He was playing against Alabama. I was Ohio State. I beat him at Bryant-Denny. And then I was UCF. He was Oklahoma State at home, and I beat him 40-0. UCF's not that bad.
Do you think you're getting better or Reed's getting worse?
Both. He had not played after that first game, which he actually played the closest of anybody in those first games. But no, we did that, and then I went to Team Builder. I searched for Birmingham, and Birmingham Bolts came up, Birmingham Iron came up, Birmingham Southern, Birmingham Stallions, Birmingham Vulcans. All the old spring teams came up, and then of course Birmingham Southern. So I played as all of those, and then Reed's ready to talk trash because I beat him so bad today.
Heard somebody bragging in here.
Oh, yeah. He's had nothing to brag about all week
yeah.
long, so here we are where he's going to
Thank you for giving me
lay
something to brag
into
about.
you.
I guess yes.
Reed just taking shots.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah. Birmingham Southern, though, in there. So I took a picture, put it on Twitter, saying feels happy and sad playing with Birmingham Southern on College Football 25. But I have now built a Meltdown team as well. The only problem is you can't put names. You can customize literally every single aspect of it. I have our turf field as orange. We have really cool end zones. Our jerseys are cool. I made the quarterback a 6'8", 400-pound guy with 99s and everything, so it's really fun and cool to play with, but I cannot change his name. That is the one thing you cannot do, so I cannot put Tim Melton or John Lunsford or Tyler or Laurel or anybody else on the team. That's the one thing, and I get that's what got him in trouble before, but that is a little frustrating. However, really cool teams you can go download. So, James, send me a DM. I'll show you how you can go download those.
By the way, thanks to our friends at Way to Wellness, I am not 400 pounds, never have been 400 pounds, and hopefully never will be 400
That was
pounds.
the
I just
max.
want to clear that up.
That was the max I could do
Really
for height and weight.
quickly
6'8",
here.
400.
Hey, speaking
I
of...
think Mount Cody was 400.
No. He was
Speaking-
close. He was like 380.
Speaking of college football, our very own Emily Grace McWhorter's been covering it all week long with SEC Media Days. Her final vlog of this week, presented by Culver's, is here and ready to be viewed as we got a trip recap from Ryan Brown and now a final vlog from EG as we welcome her back next week to the show. Let's go ahead and roll that wonderful footage brought to you by Culver's.
All right, day 4 of SEC Media Days, Meltdownians. Let's do it together. Presented by Culver's.
This is the first thing you see when you walk up, so that's where everyone does their stand-ups. And then this is the case I want to show y'all of all of the different forms of Dr. Pepper.
All right, hang on. I don't know why I did that. Let me go look at that. Phil for a second.
Here's what we will do. We will fill for a second. Tyler, life is grand at the moment as it has been a long week and you are almost to the finish line. How are you holding up physically?
I'm about to turn this microphone off.
Say that one more time.
Oh, I'm ready to go to bed. It's been a long week, guys.
Well, you were able to stay awake during the movie last night.
And I had thought that the rain sounds would put me to sleep because that's usually what happens.
That's very calming, Tyler. I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah.
That's just the way she sent it to me. So keep talking. I'll figure it out.
Okay. Well, we could play a round of hot or cold while you're working on this. You want to do that? Let's do that. Let's play some hot or cold because I have a list of trending topics, and we have a lot of opinions.
Keep talking about the JFK assassination.
Let's not do that, Tyler.
We're going to get a whole new audience with that one.
We certainly are. Let's go ahead and go to this. Twisters has made $10.7 million so far in Thursday previews at the box office. The Universal film starring Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones, and Anthony Ramos as storm chasers is expected to open between $50 and $55 million this weekend. Laurel, Tyler, John, are you hot or cold on Twisters being a worthy 2024 summer spectacle sequel? Laurel is conflicted. John is hot on it. Tyler's hot on it. Laurel, why are you conflicted?
I don't want to say it, but I am. I don't really like any of the people in the movie. I wish it was a different cast. I really want to like all the, that's just it. I really want to like all of these people, and they just don't do it for me. I know that sounds horrible.
Is it the individual pieces, or is it them as a collective unit that you feel like doesn't get the job done?
Glenn Powell, I think he's going to have a good career. I think what I would wish for this movie, I think he's a good romantic lead. I wish there had been some romance in the movie. I think he's going to do great at that.
It was very odd. That's a spoiler thing, but
shocker.
I don't really like the pieces either. Is it a fine summer movie? Yes. Is it going to be the highest grossing movie this summer? Not even remotely close, but
that wasn't the question.
It's
I
fine.
think it's fine.
If I could have chosen a nice warm tone, then I would have done it.
Yes, I would say warm. It's one of those movies that I think it's really fun to go see with a group of friends, and I hope people go out and see it. Will I ever watch this again unless John has it on after poker one night? No.
And why would John have it on after poker? He hates it too. Tyler, you really liked this film.
Yeah.
Never said the word hate. You love saying. You love
I liked y'all's
you hated it before you went to go see it.
I liked y'all's review, though. It's a movie about tornadoes.
Which it is. And it did that.
What else is it about?
I said 3 out of 5. I think a 3 out of 5 is a good score. That's my opinion on it, right?
It was higher than I thought you were going to give it.
I thought that was a good score.
If this movie had been awful, oh man, you guys would have loved railing into this one.
No,
let's be honest.
No, because I want it to do good because I want people to go to the movie.
I do too.
That's why I'm saying they should go see it with their friends. I think it'll be fun to talk about during the movie.
There have been plenty of other movies that have done really well this summer season, and another one will wipe Twisters off the face of the earth next week.
Next week?
Yeah. Next week, but this one did fine.
You see how excited he gets that Twisters is going to be going down to the second spot next week? It's just weird rooting interest you have against this movie.
I thought Twisters was going to make more. I thought it was going to make like 80 or 90 or 100.
It may end up overperforming. You never know. That's what we've seen a couple times.
I think that's going to be Trap. I'm going to hold out hope.
I think Trap is going to do extremely well.
I hope so.
Let's go to this. Halle Berry looks back at her infamous Catwoman flop 20 years later, saying, quote, "I felt like it was Halle Berry's failure, but I didn't make it alone. All these years, I've absolutely carried it with me." Are you hot or cold on Michelle Pfeiffer being the best on-screen Catwoman? I think Laurel and I are in agreement on this. She's hot on this. John is debating. He's decided to
it's not
happy
the best
wife, happy life
movie featuring Catwoman, but she is the best Catwoman.
And then Tyler's conflicted. Who do you think is in contention for best on-screen Catwoman?
I don't know. I was thinking
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt's good though.
She is.
I don't know. I might change it to hot because I was rewatching Dark Knight Rises and I'm not crazy about Anne Hathaway in that role.
She's fine, but it's also not really Catwoman.
I feel like Michelle Pfeiffer, like that's when you think of Catwoman, I think you think of her. Like she's got the iconic, like the skin type. And you know, during COVID, she actually went out, like during the lockdown, Michelle Pfeiffer went out with the whip and she did it on Instagram. She can still do it.
God, that one take whip scene where the whole crowd reacts.
And when she's still like a loser and like a nerd beforehand, and then she becomes Catwoman.
I'm not a big Batman Returns fan, but I love Michelle Pfeiffer's performance as Catwoman in that movie. And I really do like Danny DeVito's performance as Penguin. The character is, you have to be in the right mindset to enjoy the performance.
It's dark, honestly. Wow.
I was always crazier about Danny DeVito as the Penguin more so than Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman.
Me too. I would say me too.
I think it's perfect casting.
Michelle Pfeiffer just absolutely crushed it. Okay, next.
I think Zoe Kravitz is actually pretty good too.
Joe and Anthony Russo.
Zoe Kravitz was good.
Who propelled Avengers Infinity War and Endgame to stratospheric box office heights, are set to return to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The filmmaking brothers are in talks here to direct 2026's Avengers The Kang Dynasty and 2027's Avengers Secret Wars. Are you hot or cold on the Russos being the right pick to helm the future of the MCU?
Oh. I didn't know where you were going with that.
I
thought it was just going to be on the movie.
I didn't know how there was any way this could be cold, honestly, because they have done no wrong with that aspect.
Yeah.
In their overall, I've watched Citadel. It was.
Hold on. I want to see what Tyler goes with here. I'm confused.
I guess conflicted
What
again.
did you think I was going to ask?
Just, are you hot or cold on the movie itself?
What movie?
Avengers,
Formerly known as Kang Dynasty, I guess.
I mean, that would have been this, but adding the Russos to it then makes me just like, they did pretty close to perfect with it before. So
do you agree with me, John, that bringing back Robert Downey Jr. is here and bringing back the Russos is like right here? Like that's part of the formula.
In terms of what we would think or what the general public would think?
In terms of what,
I think bringing back
what
the
it
Russos,
does for MCU morale, what it does for morale.
Yeah, because bringing back the Russos is like, okay, you're bringing back the minds who made Infinity War Endgame work. By bringing Robert Downey Jr., you're totally ruining a plot point to bring him back. So, like, for me, the Russos is way up here and Robert Downey Jr. is way down here, even in terms of general public opinion because of the negative aspect. Like, there's not a lot of negative of bringing the Russos back because you really have nowhere to go but up with Marvel right now. But bringing Robert Downey Jr., while it would be big, would ruin everything that had been done before. So that's not anything bad about Robert Downey Jr., but I feel like it kind of ruins the whole story if you do that.
I agree with that about Robert Downey Jr.
Agreed.
I don't want to see him in another Marvel movie unless he's like a hologram, like for some Stark technology or something.
So there's
like a brief cameo.
There's two aspects of the Robert Downey Jr. hiring back in Marvel, and that is the narrative aspect, which I understand the concerns about for sure, and then there's the hype train, which then catapults it to an 11.
If Robert Downey Jr. appears next week in Deadpool somehow, it's like, but you're also going to be like, ugh. Like it's going to be an instant high.
There's going to be an instant high for sure. So, speaking of that movie that John just mentioned, Hugh Jackman wearing Wolverine's yellow suit reportedly caused grown men on the Deadpool and Wolverine crew to start crying during camera tests. Executive producer Wendy Jacobson recently told Hey You Guys, quote, Hugh walking out in the yellow suit and blue, I mean, they were grown men like sobbing on set, so we knew it was a very, very special thing. Are you hot or cold on audience reactions for the movie likely being very active during our screening next week? Meaning that the likelihood of our audience hooting and hollering and clapping and cheering and screaming will be happening during our showing next week.
Sadly,
you
I don't like that.
I love it.
I don't
in an
like
opening
it.
night
Tyler
MCU
doesn't like when
movie.
people clap when the plane lands.
I don't like it in a lot of movies. I've already said I hated it in Challengers when people reacted, but I do love it in Marvel movies. I mean, I think
You get it basically one weekend, and then after that, it's
Because
doesn't
people
replicate.
reacted big time when during the Doctor Strange movie in our theater, especially
big
during
Marvel
that one
movies,
scene.
yeah. Because then when like John Krasinski pops in and everything, it's like, oh, there's these people that I haven't seen in a Marvel movie yet. But I mean, the on your left reactions, the Captain America finally getting Thor's hammer reactions, like those reactions to Endgame are the best reactions that have ever happened in a theater ever of all time. And I would love to have even anything remotely close to that in an MCU movie moving forward.
I continue to make the parallel. I think, Laurel, you'll agree with me on this, that it's like a big wrestling return, that when it happens and the music hits, people lose their mind, and it is something that breaks the internet immediately. But then the hype sort of dies down when you start to think about narratively, okay, how does this fit in long term?
Right.
But still, that pop you get, that initial pop, we're going to be experiencing, I think, that over and over and over again in this movie, potentially.
You know what I think? It's like when we saw Halloween, when the very first Jamie Lee Curtis one, like the first Blumhouse one, when like he puts the mask, like everyone freaked out in the theater, like when he like put the mask and like had it and then like put it on his head, like that was a big moment too.
I want one
extra points for Laurel.
Gross. I want one good Two-Face pop in Deadpool. And what I mean by that is like in the scene where
I was going to say Two-Face is not going to be in this movie.
Maybe.
I was also thinking
Two-Face pop.
I know.
What I mean by that is like, so when all the people come, when it seems like Captain America is about to go down and they're about to lose that fight to Thanos in Endgame, and then you hear kind of the in his ear, and then you hear the, hey Cap, can you read me? And then you see the circle go, and everybody starts cheering, and then you see Black Panther walk through, and everybody loses their mind with Falcon coming behind him. That, and like when the hammer kind of comes up, and it's like, oh, Thor's getting his hammer back. No,
and it goes
it's
right
Captain
by.
America, because everybody kind of, and then there's a cheer. Like I want something like that, like something we've seen in the trailer, and it could be like, we've seen is it slingering? Is that what they call it? Like when they do the circle, we've seen that in the Deadpool trailer. So like something like that, it's like, oh, that's happening, and then there's a cameo, or there's some kind of. I want one good, crazy reaction to Deadpool.
We are less than a week away from the biggest movie of the year, and I feel like legitimately Tyler's not very excited. I really do feel that
Tyler,
way.
come on.
All right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
So let me level with y'all.
Be honest.
Here is how I'm expecting to feel about this movie right now. I'm expecting to walk out and say like 3.5 stars. It's good, but not watch it again, because that's how I've been with every Deadpool movie and most of the Wolverine movies. Even if I like them. What is your
favorite MCU movie? Which one is a 5 out of 5 for you?
Ooh,
is there one?
I don't know.
You don't know if there's a 5 out of 5 MCU
Not even like Endgame or Infinity War?
There's multiple 5 out of 5.
Ragnarok?
Endgame and Infinity War were all right for me. They were fine.
Okay, so you're not the biggest MCU fan. Let's just.
I'd say Spider-Verse, but that's not MCU. I loved Spider-Verse so much.
It is a 5 out of 5 though.
It is a 5 out of 5.
Okay, but that. Okay. All right.
Through the universe,
I'll let you know when I think of one, Tim.
Let me know. Speaking of the MCU, Scarlett Johansson has come out and said, quote, "I don't hold a grudge when it comes to Disney after their legal battle over Black Widow and the streaming release and her payment."
She's been holding it.
Saying, quote, "I think it was just poor judgment and poor leadership at that time. It just felt like very unprofessional to me, the entire ordeal, and honestly, I was incredibly disappointed because I was holding out hope until finally my team was like, you have to act." Are you hot or cold on Johansson's Black Widow ever being used again in any future Marvel projects? And this is the possibility that it will happen. That is the question. Not necessarily are you excited by the idea of it happening.
I don't know who that is, so
I would be excited about the idea.
Hold on. Say that again.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Scarlett Johansson is?
Oh,
Tyler, are you okay?
I thought you said a completely different name.
Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow.
The Black Widow we have had up until the last couple years.
I don't know what you said for the first name, but I thought you said the last name is Hanson, and I'm just like,
that's a band for the 90s.
Johansson.
Yeah, I was literally thinking there's another Black Widow
Tyler,
named Joe
Hanson. Take five, my friend. Okay, hey, I want you to rock Mr. Culver's Curdsworth to sleep over there. Okay, that's your job for the next few minutes.
I'm still trying to think of a 5 out of 5 MCU movie.
Over there.
Laurel, we've broken Tyler here. My question: we need to plug him back in the wall because he has to get back to work here.
It's been a long week.
Nudge. Okay, here's my question for you. Okay. Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow. Were you hot or cold? I couldn't tell based on what I had seen out of the side of my eye here that she will return at some point.
I just think she will because all of these people eventually come. I mean, it's like, Tim, how many horror movies do we watch? They always come back. It's going to be the same with all of these people. Like, I mean, they brought Wolverine back. They said for sure, oh, he's gone. With the multiverse, you've opened it up that there's got to be, hey, if there's one of these that has Wanda's real kids that were never even non-existent and now they're going to be in a movie.
We're all about Wanda's kids.
No one ever stays dead in the MCU.
Am I wrong?
Now, no one ever stays dead in the MCU. No one ever stays dead in the MCU. The only reason I say she does stay dead is the way that she died of the Infinity Stone. That if that was undone somehow.
But if they ever bring back Robert Downey Jr., which we think is on the table as a possibility.
Because I just think that they can do something where they can say when they return the stone, they did something. There can always be something.
Now, I do think if Robert Downey Jr. appears or Scarlett Johansson appears, it will be another version of them. It will not be the same one. I'm just saying that specific character is dead and gone.
Because technically Loki was supposed to be dead and gone too.
He just got choked. And that was a Loki that was from another timeline.
You're exactly right. It was a completely
But I'm saying they can bring one back
switch.
up from a different time.
Bring anybody back at any
That's
point.
what they've done with this, which is fine.
We can get
It might not even
super
be
nerd discussion with all that.
It might not even be Scarlett Johansson. It could be
Now,
a different Black
character aside, they are moving on with Florence Pugh. That is a major actress that they can make some money on, and the bridge is not burned, but the structural integrity has been damaged to where you may not want to cross that bridge again. So
you don't think we'll ever see Chris Evans back as Captain America?
Yes.
Even though they're moving on with Anthony Mackie?
I think we will only in cameo only for him.
I don't know.
Now Robert Downey Jr. would have more of a role, but Robert Downey Jr. is like, my whole argument has been ruined by Master Spoilers by knowing what happens in the first 30 minutes of Deadpool. So I'm not going to say anything. But I don't think
really looked up what happens in the first
just,
half hour.
Every media outlet put it out there.
Seen.
Every media they let the media screen it like 2 weeks ago, and every media outlet said, "Here's what happens in the first 30 minutes." And they showed them the first 30 minutes only for a
We're
reason.
literally 6 days away. You can't wait.
I'm going to another
2 weeks
topic.
ago.
I'm going to another topic. Here we go. I want to get away from the MCU altogether. Let's talk about this. The live-action Halo series has been canceled at Paramount Plus. Are you hot or cold on us ever getting a big-budget Halo movie at the theater? Ever in the history of the future? Is Halo just dead? What's going on, John? You're a Halo.
You're the Halo person.
So
you liked the series.
Season 1 was interesting.
Not that great.
So the whole thing with the Halo show that made a lot of people not like it is it does not follow the games. It takes the same characters and does a different timeline with their own story. It's still Master Chief. It's still the Covenant. It's still the same characters. They just kind of create their own story with it. So the Halo nerds did not like that. It was a little bizarre. Master Chief has sex in season 1. That's the most bizarre part of it. Then it's like, what? Also, the guy that plays him, the character I'm most known for is playing a character named Pornstache in Orange is the New Black.
Can I take a gamble here?
Yeah, boy.
That's what I wanted. When you went like, what? That's what I heard in my head.
Isn't it Jason Biggs' brother? Am I making that up?
No, it's Liev Schreiber's brother.
Oh, Liev Schreiber.
Jason Biggs is in Orange is the New Black.
New Black.
Where Pablo Schreiber was the main guard.
Does he sneak
in that show.
an apple pie into the prison?
No, it
But
has nothing to do with Jason Biggs. It has nothing to do with Jason Biggs.
Maybe it should have.
Season 2, because season 1 worked just well enough and got just enough views on it. Season 2, they spent a ton more money. It was a really well done season. Episode 4 of season 2, if you watch anything, just go watch it because it's just a massive battle scene, so there's not a lot of story to it. Go watch it. It's incredible. The CGI is really good in it. And the show, I'm just going to go and say it because the show has been canceled. The show ends with introducing the Flood, which is a massive part of the Halo game that had not been up in there until the last couple of episodes. And it introduces Forerunners, it introduces the Flood, it introduces all the stuff the Halo nerds know about. Mm-hmm. And now it has been canceled. You probably could do one more season and knock it all out and finish your storyline. But I do think, because every article I read made it sound like Paramount has passed. However, Microsoft, who is a massive funder of this because that is their property, between Xbox 343, all that.
They may revive it?
Microsoft and Spielberg, who was the main name behind it, because Amblin has said, we're not necessarily done with it either. That's enough power to make a show happen somewhere else. They could shop it around. They could take it to Prime.
But you do not see a theatrical distribution for a Halo movie at any point.
The movie, we saw that with
Peter Jackson,
Neil Blomkamp. It ended up being District 9 instead, which is also an incredible movie. But it would have happened then, and it ain't going to happen.
Is Halo done?
Halo's not, in general.
In general.
No, Halo's not done in general. I think Infinite didn't work as well.
But it's reached its height. And it's done.
It reached its peak with... I'd say Halo 3 because Halo 2 was so good. It brought it to its peak in Halo 3. That finished that story. And then they're like, we can make some money. So
Halo
they kept
3
going.
was all about finish the fight, and it really did.
I liked Halo 4. Halo 5 fell off for me, and I didn't really like it as much. Infinite...
I like Infinite.
Infinite's good. but it did not have the hype that they thought it probably should have, and so I don't know where they'll go for her next game.
All right, that's me and John could nerd out about Halo for a long time for sure. We go to this. The Weeknd dropped an elaborate video teaser.
Sorry, Steven, someone's going to think Master Chief had sex with a pie for some reason.
I'm sorry for the Jason Biggs reference. I really did think that was his brother for some reason, but it's fine.
Jason Biggs was in Orange is the New Black, which, brought him back.
That's what I was just thinking about, know.
Okay. The Weeknd dropped an elaborate video teaser of what his next project will look and sound like, and it's the third and final chapter in his After Hours Dawn FM trilogy. Are you hot or cold on The Weeknd being the best male artist working today? Hot or cold on The Weeknd being the best male music artist working today?
Shocker, I'm conflicted again.
Laurel's also conflicted.
This is tough because
conflicted.
I'm trying to take my personal feeling for him out of it and think just in general is he?
I love.
We're talking about a music act.
I do.
I would probably lean hot though.
I would lean hot. I think Harry Styles is better.
I really like The Weeknd, and he is the #1 stream artist on Spotify, I believe.
He is.
I do feel like in general pop culture he's disappeared a little bit,
and people kind of think he's a weirdo.
And
I wonder why.
I do think the Idol hurt him more than it helped
definitely.
him. Because
it was a huge misfire.
Because that's a show that the creator of Euphoria is like, hey, here's another thing. And it's like Euphoria, I mean, we know it has issues now, but it was a gigantic show that won tons of awards and everybody really well received. And then it's like, oh, Johnny Depp's daughter is going to be in it, and The Weeknd's going to be in it, and it ended up being such a flop.
Is that he is the one that went and changed so much of it. Like I've seen some clips
about him.
Yeah. I've seen some clips from the original show, and it seems so much more interesting, like about her being kind of like a Disney star, and all of that was kind of scrapped. And then basically he just kind of took over the show, and Rolling Stone did that whole article about how he's just, I don't know.
Has anybody watched the teaser for this new project?
No.
Have you seen it at all?
I like The Weeknd's music all right, but I think his older stuff was much better. I'm a big House of Balloons fan.
That was a good house.
If only Daft Punk was still around to help him with the album.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Next topic, a 6-part Prince documentary for Netflix, directed by Ezra Edelman, is, quote, dead in the water after representatives for the late artist's estate claim a first cut of the film was filled with dramatic, factual inaccuracies and sensationalized renderings of certain events from his life. They have canceled the project altogether. Are you hot or cold on next year's Michael Jackson movie being one of the highest grossing of the year?
I think it might be like Elvis because there's a lot of people that love him. I mean, I'll be excited to see it because I do like his music especially, but he has such a weird life that you're going to have people intrigued with that. But he has a fan base that is diehard like the Elvis people.
The Michael Jackson movie supposedly costs a ton of money to make. However, this could be a $1 billion movie. John, why are you cold on it? Worldwide, it could be a $1 billion movie.
I don't think and this doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the money of it. I don't think the movie is ultimately going to work the way we all want it to work, the way we'd envision a Michael Jackson movie in our head to work, because his people are doing it. Therefore, you can't. I feel like
it's going to be propagandized.
Yes, the hype may be there. And
Isn't every music biopic propagandized? Even Bohemian Rhapsody was propagandized, and that's why they got rid of Sacha Baron Cohen playing Freddie Mercury.
Honestly, I'd rather see it propaganda. Like, I'd rather see it like that than like that Marilyn Monroe movie that came out. I talked to John about this. That movie makes me so mad because it's filled with so many inaccuracies, and it's like
triggered something with somehow Marilyn Monroe multiple times.
It was done by someone who didn't know anything about her and just wrote all these fallacies. Okay, I'm done with it, but. It made me angry. It makes me angry just thinking about it.
I always love when Laurel, when she's making a point, yells, "I did a paper on this." That's always my favorite.
I did do a paper on it. I did.
I know. Okay.
I can bring it next week.
Next question here.
To be a $1 billion movie, it's got to hold. And
he's got a fan base.
It may have some initial hype.
Think of it this way, John. This is the way I think they're going to package it.
Because Elvis was kind of a weirdo too. So
this is the way they're going to package it. By buying a ticket, you are going to a Michael Jackson concert. That is the way they're going to sell it. I promise you. And they're going to feature 35 songs.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be, oh, well, I've got to take, the family to go see this because this was my guy growing up. And oh my gosh, 80s Michael Jackson. Yeah, they're going to have, when they put Thriller up in the marketing for this, the highest grossing album of all time, this movie has everything imaginable working for it to make bank, in my opinion. Now, obviously, the life in which Michael Jackson lived is one of controversy, and there's going to be as many detractors as there are fans that are talking about not going to see this movie, but they may show up to hate watch it. Who knows? Either way, this thing's going to make money.
I think they are going to cover some of the stuff about the plastic surgery, because that happened on like a Pepsi ad, right? Like where he first got the firework or something went to his face. Because I think I've seen them filming like stills from that scene before. So maybe they'll get into some aspects of more of his hidden life that is not as glamorous.
Yeah, do we know if Bubbles the chimp makes an appearance?
I think it is.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
I'm sure.
So Tyler's in because he heard
I'm
the chimp.
in now. We got Bubbles.
All right, next question here. I'm not sure. Have you guys seen? This is where we could fall into a trap here, and not talking about the Josh Hartnett movie. Dune Prophecy is set to premiere on HBO and stream on Max starting in November. The prequel series is set 10,000 years before the events of Dune. Are you hot or cold on the new teaser trailer that came out this week? Has anybody seen the teaser trailer?
I have not.
I have watched it.
Okay, no. Tyler, I'm talking to you exclusively here. Dune Prophecy. You're all in on Dune right now. This is set,
yes, sir,
once again, 10,000 years before the events of Dune. You cannot wait for this one, right?
Oh, yeah. This is one of the reasons I got Max again. It was House of the Dragon and Dune Prophecy.
Are you excited for the Penguin series in September?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
So,
that one's going to be sick too.
We have a lot of television that we can review between now and the end of the year for sure. So there we go, Dune Prophecy. Next question. Fallout Season 2 is reportedly way ahead of schedule. That's according to Amazon's TV boss, who says, quote, "We don't have an exact launch date yet, but we've already gotten scripts in hand, and I think the fans of Season 1 will really love where we go for Season 2. Are you hot or cold on Walton Goggins being a lock for an Emmy win this year?
Lock, no. I mean, if he won, it wouldn't shock me, but
not a win. Wait, well, what is he in? Is he in drama or comedy?
He is in drama for Best Lead Actor, I believe, in a television series. But please tell us who he's competing against, and that may change some opinions.
I thought it might be comedy.
I have absolutely no idea who he's competing against.
Walton Goggins, though, fantastic in Fallout.
So he is against. He is against.
Righteous gem, even.
Here's the only reason why, and I have not seen the show. Tyler could answer this, but I feel like the show that it's going to absolutely clean up this year is Shogun, and so whoever the lead dude is,
maybe not in the acting category,
is nominated.
Not in the acting category, I'll tell you that.
It is Idris Elba from Hijack on Apple TV, Donald Glover from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which I'm only halfway through. Is okay. Walton Goggins, Gary Oldman from Slow Horses. I never watched it. Shogun dude. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that name.
Is it Hiroki Sanada?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fantastic.
So hold on, you know Hiroki Sanada and not Scarlett Johansson?
He knew Mr. Boo or whatever the chip's name was.
And
Mr. Bubbles.
Mr. Bubbles.
And he said, well, not one of the acting categories. He's like, oh, is it that guy? He's fantastic.
I mean, to be fair, Tyler has
I thought you were
cheeseburger.
I thought it was going to be the English guy, and he's not great, but Hiroyuki Sanada is fantastic.
There's a couple people in supporting.
Mortal Kombat. He was in John Wick 4. He's great.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I kind of know who he is. Yeah,
I think Walton Goggins is a lock for the win. Because
and hold on, Dominic West from The Crown. Isn't this the last season of The Crown?
It is.
Doesn't matter.
I feel like that's going to have it.
Okay.
Winning a bunch too.
Walton Goggins wins this award because Fallout won't win anything else.
No, I do probably agree. Well.
And he is
creative.
I do love him. I'm so excited to see him on White Lotus. I hope he's just an extension of the character that he plays.
I love Walton Goggins. This is not at all my favorite role of his. I do like this role, and I do think he definitely has a good chance to win, but is he a lock? No.
Lock. Okay, here's the next question. The official poster for Tim Burton's Beetlejuice has just been released. Have you guys seen the poster?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
The long-awaited sequel opens in theaters September 6th after world premiering at the Venice Film Festival. Are you hot or cold on Beetlejuice 2 potentially being better than the first Beetlejuice?
I don't know if it will be because it's such a it's a very specific audience that it's going for. I think the second trailer looks really good, or the third, whatever the last one we got. I was laughing at it. I think there's going to be more Michael Keaton, which might make it better than the original because he's not really in the first one that much.
He's barely in it.
So I have seen that James McAvoy horror trailer in every movie I've gone to.
I'm so tired of it.
Been a lot of
What's it called again?
Speak No Evil.
God, I hate that trailer.
I never heard anything about it because I have seen it so many times.
If there was a Melton's list of trailers that have driven me to the point of insanity.
This is Tim's Kingsman. I was like that with the Kings.
I cannot take it again. That horrible music that's used, the little Kevin. Oh, thank gosh you're a doctor. I'm not a doctor. You know, it's like, what did you say?
Of course I'm a doctor.
I could reenact the entire trailer. And I thought going in last night we would get Gladiator 2 as a trailer in Prime. We did not. I think Gladiator 2 is going to be associated with more screenings of Twisters. But we got this god-awful James McAvoy horror movie trailer. I refuse to see that movie. Tyler, you're going to have to tell me how it is. I refuse to see it.
It's the same movie that they just did like a year ago. It's the same one.
But it is the exact same one. It's been playing forever. Which is weird to me. Okay, so the reason I bring that up is because the inverse of that, the thing that makes me so happy is when Michael Keaton is dressed up in full Beetlejuice regalia and he goes, "The deuce is loose." Like when he does that,
the juice is loose.
The juice is loose. Sorry, you say the deuce is loose. I was going to bring up. That's the reason I wanted you to start saying the deuce is loose. The juice is loose. When he says it, it makes me laugh internally so much.
So good.
I love it so much.
And I think it looks. And Tyler, because Tim, are you a fan of Beetlejuice?
Not really.
Okay, well, since Tyler is a big fan, I feel like the practical effects look really good. And like you can tell that they're practical effects, but they look better than cheap CGI. Mm-hmm. Like it's the same
good.
vibe as the original.
It looks like
looks good.
It looks like what made Beetlejuice good. The goofiness of it, the campiness of it is like, we're not turning it up to a 10. We're turning it up to a 5,000. And it's like a little too much. Like
that's what you've been tasked with doing with the EG video here, is getting it up to a 5,000. So we're working on it.
Yeah, maybe.
We're going to get it there. We've got a couple more of these. James Gunn's Superman is getting close to the end of filming, as it only has a couple weeks left after wrapping a 6-week shoot in Cleveland, Ohio. Gunn said, quote, "Cleveland, today we are leaving you after 6 amazing weeks of shooting from the moment we first came here on a scout a tad less than a year ago, and Terminal Tower was lit up the colors of Superman. I knew you were a special place. I would walk down your streets and someone would stop me and tell me how grateful they were that we were shooting in their city. Not once, not twice, but dozens of times."
Oh, did that?
Supposedly. Are you? This sounds like Jim whenever he goes outside the office.
That's what I was just thinking.
Jim, thank you so much for coming to our city and covering this team. Are you hot or cold on the future of the Superman character in cinema? Are you hot or cold on the Superman character in cinema? Every single one of you is cold.
Me and John had ours up the whole time, and Laurel always waits until the end of the question.
Which is the smart way to play
well,
this game.
because I'm trying to hear the whole question,
Yes.
Tyler.
Anything with the new Superman, I think we're just cold.
And after watching Twisters last night, that dude has the charisma of a pile of sawdust. So
he honestly
not
looks,
that Superman has to have that
does
necessarily.
Does he not look like
but
a young Hayden Christensen? Does he not look like that mixed with Henry Cavill?
she would not stop saying that. It's like Superman. She's like, no, it's young Hayden Christensen. It's
he
like,
does look
okay.
like that back from like the second movie.
He looks more like Henry Cavill than Hayden Christensen.
Looks more like Henry Cavill
but
for
a little
sure.
bit. I'm not wrong.
I haven't seen the Hayden Christensen yet, but maybe I'll get there.
You'll get there.
Okay.
There's people talking.
I'm looking forward to Superman. Comes out less than a year from now. I'm really hoping. I'm rooting for it very much.
Maybe it's because there's just never been a good Superman project of any kind in my lifetime.
That is correct.
I just have no affinity for the character.
Which is
at
why
all.
this is so important. It's the most important comic book movie ever to be made. This movie.
Why it cannot live up to the hype.
Because the entire property
100%.
lives or dies. Maybe even the entire James Gunn DC future lives or
that might be
dies.
dead on arrival if
this
this
movie
flops.
I've been saying for years.
Yeah.
For years I've been saying there are 2 movies that are the most important for superhero cinema. Deadpool and Wolverine and Superman. Deadpool and Wolverine to help save the MCU, Superman to help save the DC cinematic universe. And we are going to see the MCU a week from now recharged. Will we see Superman save DC a year from now at the theater? FX's upcoming Alien television series has a new title. According to network boss John Landgraf, and showrunner Noah Hawley. It's called Alien Earth. They said, quote, "We just wrapped production, so now I'm into the long post that gets into visual effects." That's what Hawley had to say to Variety. Are you hot or cold on Alien being a perfect horror property for the small screen? Do you think Alien works as a television series? You think it could work really well?
I think it could. I mean,
let me tell you why I think you're right, Laurel, and that is because you don't have to have the alien pop up every 5 minutes in a television series.
Nope.
No.
You can build the characters, build the world, and then the alien just happens to intervene.
I kind of feel like that might be what they're going to do with, which Tyler, you should have, we got HBO because Welcome to Derry, that's going to be coming in another, that's, I guess, spring probably, but I don't think Pennywise is going to be on it every week. It's going to be developing like the lore and, you know, the characters around it, which I think it's the same with Alien. Like, you don't have to see it every week, but you're in space, exciting. The possibility that there could be an alien, exciting. Passengers, you know, I think that's it sounds interesting.
I think so. I'm really looking forward to Alien Romulus.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Gotta figure out a way to get John to the theater for that.
John's going fine.
We got to figure out a way to get early access or
Something.
get there opening night.
Something. I mean, we
We
got to
have an
figure out a
event
way.
that night, so.
Well, you're still going anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
John, why are you cold on Alien being a perfect property for the television space? I think it's great.
I don't care enough about it that I can't think that
You're
much
gonna leave a
about what
fan after
Alien
this
will
new
actually
movie.
be.
Now, I do have to ask a
But
question.
you should like it because it'll have to be tamed down for
That's
TV.
true.
It'll be on FX.
So
So
just be
no,
space.
No.
it'll
I
have to be
disagree.
tamed down
It-
some.
I disagree.
No, because FX is not FX anymore. FX is FX on Hulu. That then they water it down when they put it on FX. But the Bear has an F-bomb every 5 seconds. in it, but
TVMA
it doesn't
can
mean
be,
they don't.
TVMA can be way worse than R.
I guess it's been a while since I've watched cable.
Yeah, no. It will actually be a Hulu show, which means they can do whatever they want to.
Gotcha.
And then
That
if
is
they want to
correct.
censor it and put it on FX, they can do that. But
I agree with you. I have to ask, why did Aliens, the James Cameron movie, not make the cut of best horror sequels last week on Laurel's list?
Because, you know, I was going to say it, and then as I was doing some investigating and I was like looking through, a lot of people were saying that it wasn't.
That argument could be made.
So that's
but
why I didn't do it, because I didn't want to cause controversy.
I like it.
So I just went with easier choices.
you don't know how Lunch's list is supposed to work. You're supposed to cause controversy
I
and
didn't want
argue
to
about
say
it.
that. No, that's not. So, but it is a really good one. It's probably better than the first one.
Speaking of arguing, I just decided to look while we were doing all this. The Vegas odds and predictions for the Emmys.
Oh, God.
The Vegas odds leader for lead actor in a drama series is Haruyuki Sanada from Shogun at plus 175. Number 2, Gary Oldman at plus 250. Number 3, Dominic West at plus 350 from The Crown. Number 4, Donald Glover at plus 500. Walton Goggins, 5th out of 6 at plus 600.
Make some money on it, John.
I think I might place a bet.
Variety's predictions.
With MyBookie.ag. using
Variety's
promo code
predictions
NextRound.
on it also have Walton Goggins 5th out of 6 on who will
Well, you
ultimately
love
win
taking
it.
other people's opinions and using them as fact, so
I'm
that's
just telling
perfectly
you,
fine
Vegas
for you
odds
to
are
do
usually-
that.
usually
But
right.
these predictions will be ultimately decided on the actual voting that takes place from the Academy of Television Sciences or whatever. So we will see what happens, but I'm telling you, Walton Goggins is going to walk away with the trophy, and I cannot wait to bring it back up in a future edition of Hot or Cold.
I'm just telling you.
Is there a reason you killed the music for this? Are you trying to?
I thought that was your last
I'm going to
question.
make
No,
sure
I
to
have
use
more.
that
I have one more.
MyBookie.ag
Two more.
promo code and get a deposit bonus.
Smart man.
Little
Make sure
extra
you
money to win.
Make sure you use next round there.
Oh, absolutely. What other code would I use?
You're correct. Joe Jonas has announced his sophomore solo album, Music for People Who Believe in Love. It's releasing October 18th via Republic Records. Are you hot or cold on Joe being the best Jonas brother? Laurel, quick to go cold. Remember, if you do not
I
pick
gotta
him,
remember which
you have-
one is which.
He's the one that used to be married to Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Sophie Turner.
Yeah.
And Nick is
Married,
married
to Priyanka Chopra. I think I said her name wrong.
What did you say?
What's Kevin
I think
up
you
to
said a
these
Ricky
days?
Ricardo song. Babalu? What? Okay, Laurel, you seem to be the expert on this. Tell me why John is yet to vote. Tell me why Joe Jonas is not the best Jonas brother.
I just have never really. He has a Taylor Swift ex too, but
I will accept whatever Laurel's answer is.
I feel like Nick has always been. They were like a little. I was a little too old for them when they came out, so they were like too young because I was in college by that point. But as I kept up with them, like they would have singles on, that I would hear. I feel like Nick was always the most popular one, and I kind of liked his solo stuff. And Joe just never did it for me. So I know that was Tyler. Anything from you? This is like your age demographic. Come on.
So I used to spend a lot of time at my grandmother's house, and my cousin would also go over there too, and we'd stay the weekend or whatever, and we'd take turns picking the movie. She would always pick Camp Rock, Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers.
Yes.
And then the next week she picked Camp Rock, but it was a special edition where they showed the scenes in the order they were filmed.
Did you ever raise your voice about this? Did you ever go?
Oh, I most certainly did. I tried to go to another room.
Or did you enjoy it?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
That was rough.
We will leave it there. Here we go. This is our last two. Last two, I promise. The Bear broke the Emmy record. Oh my gosh, I said Emmy, John. Calm down.
No, you said two more like last three questions. It's like Jeff from Aniston when he's like, all right, one more, and then I got five more.
Sorry, two more. You don't have to participate.
The Bear broke all college football teams in order of crowd size and height. What do you think?
Can I get through this? I think we can get through this. The Bear broke the Emmy record for a comedy series. The second season of the FX series earned 23 nominations, including Outstanding Comedy Series. It now surpasses the 22 nomination Emmy Comedy Series record held by NBC's 30 Rock since 2009. Are you hot or cold? And Tyler, you don't have to participate on this one. Are you hot or cold on The Bear Season 2 being its very best? So that is...
It's one of the best seasons of television
ever.
The Bear Season 2.
There's one episode that I think is probably in the top 5.
Is this why everyone hates The Bear Season 3? I wouldn't say everyone, but I mean, is this why it's so polarizing?
It's yes, because it's down. It's still okay to me.
It's very much like
hard
Ted Lasso Season 3 when you're like, where's Ted Lasso? And this, it's like, where's the bear? Like, where is the person that the show is named after? And why do we have, what are the two brothers' names?
The Facts. That's their last name. It's Fack.
It's too much.
F-A-K. And now there's 3 because John Cena's there. But yeah, no, it's really good. And I
Did
feel
they not see him?
And I have nothing to say after that. Yeah,
great. We've had a full week of EA Sports College Football 25. Are you hot or cold on the game and its cultural impact so far?
Y'all seem to be having a blast. Y'all
are hot or cold on the game and its cultural impact so far.
Yeah,
that's two different questions.
I saw where Patrick Mahomes said that he's been playing it during training camp.
This is the game. Okay. This is the cultural impact.
Something that's good.
Okay.
The Meltdown. Y'all been playing it nonstop.
I thought you liked it now that you beat the brakes off of Reed. I thought you were a fan of the game.
No, when I make an opinion, I keep my opinion. And my opinion has been here the whole time. I gave it a 7 out of 10 after day 1, and I hold to it.
Okay.
But that's not really hot. That's more like...
I also am sticking with my rating on the game, but the cultural impact is just simply undeniable at this point.
Yeah. Yes. It's going to be a massive business success. It already is, for sure. Everybody's buzzing about it. I saw one of our mutual friends, John, I haven't shown you the picture yet, sent me a picture of them buying the physical copies of both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X edition of this game. And
is it the person I think?
Yes.
But I don't want to see the picture.
Well, it may not be that person then.
Oh, okay.
No, you like this person.
Okay.
I thought you were aware. Okay. Have you done an Emmy award-winning job of changing Emmy G's format?
It's as close as I can get
video.
it.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're going to go.
I feel like somebody's there because the lights are off in the hallway. And
it does kind of look like that
the Stormtrooper poster mirrors perfectly right there, and every time I turn, it's like, oh, somebody's there. I'm waiting for Reed to come in and punch me again for beating him today. All right.
I would be rooting for Reed. Let's go to EG as she wraps up SEC Media Days, and any sort of technical issues, we're just going to work through them there on the back end and get through this with EG wrapping up SEC Media Days thanks to the team at Culver's.
All right, day 4 of SEC Media Days, Meltdownians. Let's do it together, presented by Culver's.
This is the first thing you see when you walk up, so that's where everyone does their stand-ups. And then this is the case I want to show y'all of all of the different forms of Dr. Pepper. So there's all of these rows, and none of these seats are assigned. You just have to kind of fight for it. So I like to sit up there in that section. My stuff is set up. And I'm going to give you guys another angle of where the set is. It's a massive set. These cameras are catching coaches on stage, the big football helmets, and then of course these screens change depending on who is speaking and the players. The lighting changes. It really is just so cool. All right, this is a look inside of the binder I made for this week. So this was the schedule that the SEC gave us. This is the timing where people were. There's a map back there. And then each day I wrote out my notes by color, of course. And I guess Monday is not the right spot. But I did this for every team. So it would have a basis of what to talk about. And we just ended with Kentucky. I'm so sad. I want to throw this in here today. This is Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers playing Pong with us. Look at the boots and look at the skinny jeans. What are your thoughts on that? But up next is going to be some of the EA Sports College Football 25 videos that we took yesterday.
I'm still learning, yes, a little bit. It's just different from 2014 NCAA, but definitely more advanced in the student athlete role.
What teams are you playing with?
Kentucky, obviously.
Of course.
My alma mater, NIU. I'm thinking about doing another dynasty with my alma mater from NIU, just because they're a smaller school. And I'm trying to learn all the players. I'm still learning all the players' names and different things that they can do. So just a little bit of everybody right now.
Yeah.
Just Kentucky, so for the most part.
Do you like your picture?
It's decent. It's all right. I mean, ain't the best, but ain't the worst. So it's like, it's just good. It's fine.
After practice, when you're playing with your teammates, who's going to be the toughest competitor to go against?
Probably Deion Walker. He was real good in Madden during the season last year. He played a lot of Madden last year, so probably Deion give you a run for your money.
How many hours have you put in, and do you like your picture?
I like my picture. It looked kind of like me. I have played it a lot. I'm actually not a game guy, but I have played a lot hours. Me and my friend, we done stayed up the past 2 nights just playing till 3 o'clock in the morning, just playing. And not even realizing we don't play so many games, trying to keep winning. He don't win, I want to get my get back and just keep playing.
So what teams have you been playing for if they're not Kentucky?
The team that I've been using is I've been using Georgia, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech. Yeah, them are my main 3 teams that I go to.
When you play after practice with your teammates, who's going to be the toughest competitor to play against?
On the team, I haven't played nobody on the team yet, but I would say probably just hearing everybody talking in the locker room, I'd probably say Dan Kia, Barry Brown.
This made me laugh. This is one of the Kentucky players, and they had to get his little fan set up before he started taking questions. Here's Eugene Asante from Auburn, and then the Kentucky players selling some autographs before they hit the road. We went to Shreveport to an establishment that used to be in Birmingham, and the restaurant is called Superior Grill, and Getaway, as always, got a meal. That's probably not the best to get. The sauce was quite literally boiling on his plate. My luggage did in fact fall at the hotel, and then we made it back to the Loves that everything started at. So Meltdownians, thank you for joining me on this ride, presented by Culver's.
And thank you, EG, for keeping us up to date on all the behind the scenes of what we didn't get a chance to see firsthand there in Dallas, but have lived vicariously through you covering our entire crew down there covering SEC Media Days in Dallas. We appreciate that very much, and we appreciate Culver's not only sponsoring that segment, but also delivering us a brand new mascot here for the studio. Repeat his name for us so we make sure we get it right.
Mr. Culver Curdsworth.
Is there a way to maybe use that as a middle name? Mr. Culver's Little Meaty Curdsworth? Is there a way to go?
Sure.
Is that too intense?
I mean, that could be like a nickname.
It's his nickname.
Yeah, that's his stage name, Little Meaty.
Okay. Well, we appreciate Culver's very much. We had Culver's
yesterday. Just Little Meaty holding a microphone in his hand while he's rapping. But
you never do that again.
Please, John, never do a lot of things again. We enjoyed Culver's very much yesterday. John, you love that signature sauce. You love those tenders.
You got some on deck right now.
So many different options at Culver's.
There are. I like the buffalo tenders the best. Dipping them in this is one of the best things you can eat. The fries and the marinara that you also can get, because you can get 2 sauces with every entree that you get there. So I love collecting these over here.
John has somehow been labeled as the sauce king of the show, even though, as you notice, he has towers of sauce that he really doesn't use. So I don't know if he is the actual sauce king of the show.
See, that sauce is more for decoration. He is the signature sauce king, though. He's been just drinking that.
Signature sauce and marinara I will destroy. Outside of that,
that is true.
And for good reason. That signature sauce goes great with fries and onion rings. Yes. Culver's onion rings are top-notch. My favorite thing there.
Speaking of destroying things, that is going to be what we get to here with this edition of Luntz's List. So many different movies eligible for this category of natural disaster movies. What makes the cut of John's favorite 5? It's time to go ahead and get to the list right now on The Meltdown.
What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. Nonsense list to find. Nonsense list to find. Nonsense list to find. Nonsense list to find.
Smuff says in the chat he doesn't even like sauces. All I imagine is we're like all together, the whole next round, Disrupt, Meltdown family, we're all out. And I'm like, yeah, I'll have sauce. And it's like everybody starts talking about, ooh, John, you like that signature sauce? Oh, yeah, John. And you're just in the back like in Mean Girls when Damien screams, she doesn't even go here. It's like, he doesn't even like sauces.
He doesn't. It is the ultimate con job that you're pulling on our audience here. You love the signature sauce. That is absolutely accurate. You love the marinara sauce on things that marinara does not belong on. You love buffalo sauce.
I like buffalo sauce.
You have a lot of buffalo sauce. But every time I use any sauce on anything, you look at me with your judging eyes. No. Your piercingly judging eyes.
Here's the thing.
Don't do this whole here's the thing thing.
No, they give us this container, okay? Yep. I will use this container for my entire meal. I have seen Tim get a jar of sauce and drink it with his meal in order to adequately have enough sauce for his meal.
Yeah, I like a sauced meal, and sometimes that is the least messy approach compared to pouring sauce all over something. I will then just,
Tim, you need to start one of those TikTok accounts where you like eat on camera, where the people are like getting, like they're taking the sauce. It's like,
are you trying to turn Tim into Shoe Nice?
John's already turned me into a 400-pounder that plays quarterback. I don't know
how. It's not you. I can't change the name. I just made it the biggest person I could.
It's not you. It just fits a lot of the description while you're looking into my eyes. Okay, let's get into it.
It's you and everything but name.
This show's been a disaster. We're going to get into the natural disaster movies that make John's list. John, how did you approach the best natural disaster movies? We saw one last night. It was in contention. Did it make the list? We'll have to wait and see.
You give me lists a lot of times, and I don't always necessarily love the things that you give me lists about. I don't really care for natural disaster movies. I have avoided a lot of them over the years. There are 5 that I would say I enjoyed. I am not including Twisters on this list.
Okay.
I'm going into hey, if Twisters, got you jazzed up, go watch these 5 movies instead. Would it make the list? Still probably not. I was going to put...
So I go into the justification.
Just so he can take another shot at that perfectly chiseled jaw of Glenn Powell.
Yes.
I'm not going to say anything.
I thought about making...
Really
next Tom Cruise, as I said in our Out of the Theater reaction.
Someone posted on Twitter that he looks like a robotic chicken from, like, the Country Bear Jamboree, and I can't unsee it now.
You guys hate Glenn Powell so much, and it makes no sense.
I said I saw it.
But you enjoy the content of seeing it. You have a single tear going down your eye like a Country Bear Jamboree performer.
I had a lot of saves.
Okay.
I was going to make... I don't know where to go from here. I was going to make Interstellar number 1 because the whole reason they have to leave Earth is because the world is being destroyed. Natural disasters are happening all over the world, but I figured y'all be like, that's not a natural disaster movie. So I'm just putting that out there from the beginning.
It's not a natural disaster movie.
It's not really, but I think the argument could be made, John.
Okay, in that case, number 1, Interstellar. All right.
Are we ever going to get to the damn list? How many more setups do we need?
I'd just like to point out in the chat, James says Dante's Peak should be top 5. And Tim, you and Laurel were gushing over that
We do
earlier.
like
Dante's Peak is the forgotten about.
I have not seen it. So.
It's the forgotten about. It's much better than Volcano.
James says even if you haven't seen it, it should be on the list.
Okay, well in that case, replace Volcano with Dante's, whatever it was. Dante's Inferno, is that what it was? What was it?
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Inferno.
A very different type of movie. Okay, Volcano. Tommy Lee Jones in this movie.
Yeah.
Two-Face.
I liked it. It was all right. These are all so old movies. I have not watched them since, but I do remember walking out of Volcano liking it. Volcano's the first volcano like exploding on camera I can remember seeing.
That was the weirdest sentence you've ever said in the history of the Meltdown. Volcano was the first volcano exploding on camera.
No love for Joe versus the volcano.
I have seen Joe versus the volcano. Wouldn't
We're all a
consider
little
that for the
delirious.
list. All right, number 4 on the list.
Yep, let's get to number 4. Dante's Peak. This should just be called Why We Love Dante's Peak. That's what it should be called, Laurel.
It should be.
We're all losing our minds. Have they cut the oxygen in this room yet?
They cut that a long time ago.
I can't believe you chose Deep Impact over Armageddon.
I agree. You've got to pick a
Armageddon
side.
I like Armageddon.
Armageddon's the way to go.
Don't want to close your eyes.
Armageddon doesn't make the list?
Armageddon does not make the
He
list.
hates Armageddon because he said it's a love story. All the things I love about it is what he doesn't like about it. He doesn't like the animal crackers on her stomach. You know exactly what I'm talking about, too.
You don't like Aerosmith?
I don't really care for Aerosmith either. All right, number 3 on the list.
No.
I like Deep Impact better. I mean, you know, there's always that thing that happens where like a movie comes out and a movie that's just like it comes out right after.
Yeah.
Somehow 2 years prior to that, there were secret conversations that got leaked. It was like, oh, we got to do a movie like that too.
So
that
it's
was
like-
definitely Deep Impact to Armageddon, but or I don't remember which one came up first, honestly. But I feel like Armageddon was first.
2 things I want to say before anybody reacts. It's the point you're bringing up is just like Trap and Smile 2. The second thing is
Exactly.
they played those trailers back to back last night, and I thought my
They
head
do
was
it
going
every
to
time.
explode.
And
they played them back to
Well,
back.
No, here's the thing though. Not only did they play them back to back, but it's the second trailer for Trap, which has a ton of red in it that I feel like the first trailer did not necessarily have. So the
Correct.
last thing you see in Trap is his face like sliding over.
Enjoy the concert, and
with
then it starts
Trap,
with the concert.
and then it goes instantly into from Paramount Pictures in red on top of it for the same thing. It was, I mean, it's like they did it on purpose.
People are going to go into Trap thinking, I thought this was Smile 2. I'm telling you, someone's
Yeah.
going to do that.
Matt says Armageddon had the star power. Deep Impact was a better movie. I concur.
I prefer Armageddon all the way
I do,
around.
too.
Okay, number 3.
Tyler, you?
What's up?
Which one?
Armageddon does have Michael Clark.
I prefer Armageddon.
Okay.
Yep. All good. Number 3 on Lentz's list.
Sorry, man.
Somebody, I think this is James. This is not a good list for John. That is correct. He
It's not a
admitted
good
that.
list.
And then he
I
followed
admit
it up with, and he doesn't like Aerosmith. Jeez, come on, John.
I mean, you know, I'm honest, if not anything.
Natural disaster movies. Yeah, I was really excited for The Day After Tomorrow and walked out not liking that movie.
Well,
Hey,
take
wait
a
a
look.
No, you're kidding.
The Day After Tom. I like that.
The Day After Tom.
That's what Succession season 4 is called.
Okay. I love The Day After Tomorrow. Oh, that's the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, though.
Yeah.
You love him. That's like your best friend's greatest actor of all time.
I'm telling you guys, you put Glenn Powell and Jake Gyllenhaal in a movie together, and I am going to be there opening weekend. Roadhouse 2,
You won't be
baby.
able to remove Tim from the theater when that happens, except Roadhouse 2 won't go
Jake
to the theater.
Gyllenhaal is the best actor today that has never won an Oscar.
I agree.
Wait, you think over like Tom Cruise or
It's
Brad
fantastic.
Pitt?
It is easily Tom Cruise.
Oh, no, Brad Pitt.
No.
Jake Gyllenhaal is the best working actor today that has never won an Oscar.
Better than Ryan Gosling. No way.
No, I'll say Jake Gyllenhaal's better than Ryan Gosling, for sure.
You think he's better than Tom Cruise?
Yeah, easily.
Oh.
Tom Cruise
Are
plays
you
Tom Cruise.
Kidding me?
Tom Cruise plays the same role
Yes.
in every movie.
Tom Cruise has the best filmography of
Better,
any actor
true.
out
better
there.
than Tom. Wait, better than Adam Sandler?
would
Like
take-
Ico Jones?
I would take Harrison Ford over Tom Cruise when it comes to filmography, and I would take even Tom Hanks over Tom Cruise when it comes to
Tom
filmography.
Hanks.
I'd agree
Tom
with
Hanks,
both of those.
Tom Hanks, very good argument there. I just prefer Tom Cruise. I think he has the best
Who
filmography.
directed The Day After Tomorrow? I'm just curious.
Was it Roland Emmerich?
Yeah.
That's
Still
his
trying.
jam. Yeah.
Independence Day?
Roland Emmerich. They pop up again, I think.
This is
gotta
his
remember.
genre for
is
sure.
his
Did
genre.
anybody ever see Moonfall where the moon was attacking the earth? That was
No,
his latest.
I wanted to, but I couldn't.
Oh,
Because
man.
it had a similar vibe to Independence Day 2. Because like there's a whole bit, you know, like where they're on the moon in Independence Day 2 because it had the alien technology. I feel like I got the same vibe from it, which obviously that was not Very good. Yes, Roland Emmerich will appear again on this list. All right.
I'm not sure a single thing's been said about any movie other than that was the first time a volcano
And you said you
exploded
didn't like
on
The
screen.
Day After Tomorrow.
You see what I post and go, oh, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna.
I honestly did not see it. I just was bringing up I did not like The Day After Tomorrow after I was very excited about it. It was just too much for one movie. It did have a good tornado sequence.
Speaking of tornado sequences,
Promise I didn't look again. Twister at number 2.
Twister had a good tornado sequence. Twister's had a good tornado sequence. I like Twister. I don't know what to say about these movies because
How likable cast.
y'all are just
which is
trashing
important.
everything I put up there. But Twister's good, right? Right?
I honestly preferred Twisters. I was never
I
that
prefer the
crazy
first
about
Twister.
Twister.
I very much prefer
I
the
like
first
the
Twister.
first one a lot.
But I like both of them. I like both
I
of them.
liked the movie. I gave it a 3.5.
Did you ever ride the
Why
ride at
don't you
Universal
take that
Studios?
as a personal offense? I'm not talking about.
Did anyone ever ride it? The ride at Universal Studios?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more of a show.
And you just
It
kind of got
was.
the water
Than a
splash
ride?
on you?
Yeah.
They love getting you, like,
Wet.
drenching you there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have some some minor concerns with Twisters that I will bring up in our spoiler review.
I think we all do.
But we will get to that. It will be.
I've got a lot of
Released.
None more than Laurel, who still gave it a 3 out of 5.
That's a good review.
Anyway, good cast.
This
Bill
is
Is
Paxton.
how
there
I-
a chance this is a more contentious review than the Civil War review?
No, absolutely not.
Even though we're all very close in our scores.
This
We're
will
all
not be
disappointed in
close
each
to the
other.
Civil War review. But what got me, and you could read it as clear as day in their out of the theater reaction, was John, who went in wanting to hate this movie. I'm going to stand by that. I believe that wholeheartedly. Was upset that Laurel gave it a 3 out of 5.
No,
Like, you
hold
just trashed this movie.
did.
Why are you giving this a 3 out of 5?
She turned to me.
And when she went with a 3 out of 5, that then softened John's approach on his review.
And then he
don't
gave it
think
a
I
3.5
trashed
on
it.
Letterboxd.
Exactly.
Did I trash the movie? No, I did not.
Hold
I
on.
said fine
Hold on.
things about
Hold
it.
on. Okay, y'all are all putting things in there. The minute the movie ended, I went into the movie. Tyler, I come out of going to most things saying this is the same with the Acolyte. You'll be like, y'all are gonna hate it. I'm gonna say, it's all right. And I knew coming into this movie, it's like Tim's gonna love it, and I'm gonna come out and saying, it's all right. I'd say a 3.5 is, it's all right. But the minute the credits hit, Laurel turns to me and is like, I don't get it. I don't get what y'all see in him. I did not like that at all.
I don't know why I'm so sassy. I don't think I said it like
And
that.
then we go outside. She's like, I mean, 3 out of 5. And I was like, that is not how you were the minute the movie ended.
I think I gave it a good assessment. I have some issues with it, but I can see what it was trying to do, and it kind
Full
of
disclosure,
succeeded.
though, Laurel told me she fell asleep.
I did fall asleep during some of it.
The one person I thought was not going to fall asleep during the screening.
And happened to miss a lot of the scenes where Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones
No,
get closer.
after you told me about it, I was like, I'm kind of glad I missed it. Honestly,
I was going to say that's probably why I got a 3 out of 5 compared to like a 2 out of 5. It's because she did miss some of the movie.
Well, I'm just saying I didn't give it a bad review. I think I gave it a fair review.
I think you guys.
That's what somebody says when they give it a bad review and they're trying to
I
defend
think
not
it's
giving it a
fair.
bad
I think
review.
I would be thrilled to get a 3 out of 5.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. Twister at number 2. What is going to be better than Twister for you?
Twister
in
had a
natural
good cast.
disaster
Helen
movies?
Hunt, Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton's son was in the movie last night. Didn't know if y'all knew that.
What role did he play? Because I knew he was in there.
He
but I didn't-
was when they went into the motel and they were like, "Do you have a basement?" He was the
he was the guy at the
he was the guy at the counter that was
So
arguing.
when I was watching that, I was thinking to myself, "This is the way Tyler's been talking about college football 25 all week long." It was the
There was a
exact
lot of
same
Tyler
thing.
in that character, but that was his son. It was just a quick little role to kind of
Philip
just
Seymour Hoffman.
and of course Philip Seymour Hoffman as well. Although, what's his kid's name?
I don't remember.
That was in Licorice Pizza.
Oh yeah.
While y'all think about that,
He was they could have thrown him in there too. Anyway.
Oh yeah,
all right.
that would have been good. Actually, that would have made me give it a 4 out of 5.
Bill Paxton said that Twister was going to do for tornadoes what Jaws did for sharks. And I think he was right on that when he was on the set and he was kind of playing around with some of the set design there. Twister was so far ahead of its time.
And I feel like I don't think they really liked each other in real life, but I think they had good chemistry, like on screen chemistry that worked. Maybe because they didn't like each other in real life.
All right, number 1. Ooh, 2012, making that number 1 spot. This was John Cusack, Woody Harrelson,
Amanda Peet.
A fake Arnold Schwarzenegger was in this
Can I
movie.
just say one thing about this movie? Because I think about this movie frequently. and we talk about this all the time, John. You know, like in a movie when like they say something and you know, like there's a reason they said that, and this is going to come back to it. In this movie, there's a character that's like kind of like a mafia type Russian.
The Russian guy, yeah.
And he mentions boxing, and you're like, that's going to come back at some point. And then at the end, he has to like make sure his sons get on the ship, so he like punches out one of the guards. I was like, that's where it's going to come in handy.
Punch out one of the guards, and as he goes to throw his kid on, and he falls down to his death after, but he saved his kid. The thing is, a lot of movies, I say I don't like natural disaster movies. A lot of these movies that I'm going to make this comment about are not natural disaster movies. They're alien invasion movies, or they're, you know, some kind of unnatural thing. But if I'm going to watch a disaster movie, and I feel like this is Roland Emmerich's thing because he did this movie too, I want it so over the top, so much destruction that it's like Twister and Twisters, like those kind of movies are believable. Like, I was there on April 27th. I watched that happen. Everything that happened in that movie 100% can happen in real life. 2012 though goes on a whole other level because it's a world-ending event.
It's about the Mayans and everything.
Yeah, and it's, you know, the whole world literally just gets destroyed by itself. But it's so over the top, and like the ships they have that like the government's been building in secret, waiting for 2012 to come and everything. Like, it's so science fiction-y that like it's kind of fun to watch that. It's so epic in scope that I like stuff like that. I don't necessarily care for a lot of the natural disaster stuff that like would potentially qualify for this list, but this kind of is the best of both worlds because it is very much a natural disaster movie, but also very science fiction-y, very epic in scope. That's why I like it, and it's so stinking over the top.
It definitely is, like for sure. 2012 is everything everywhere all at once, for sure, with the natural disasters just being thrown up against the wall.
Yes.
Okay. Twister at the number 2 spot, The Day After Tomorrow.
Had a source code pop up. I just saw that in the chat.
Hunter in the chat said, have y'all seen Source Code or Life? Both great Jake Gyllenhaal movies. And I said,
Source Code was, yeah.
I loved Source Code. John was underwhelmed. I tried for months to get John to watch Source Code, and he finally watched it, and I was like, what'd you think? Because this is your type of movie. That was
What's the premise of that?
The idea of it's really cool. I just didn't think it was executed perfectly.
It's like Groundhog Day meets like a Mission Impossible movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
I'll give him Nightcrawler. I will give him that. That was a good movie.
Fantastic movie.
Okay.
One day we've done plenty of things I very much enjoy. I just
save it for the list.
No one's even saying his best movie, but that's fine.
Donnie Darko?
Yeah, Donnie Darko is easily the best movie.
No.
I disagree with that for sure.
Brokeback Mountain is easily his
I have not
best
seen
movie.
that yet. I do need that's on the summer watch list. That we've only made a couple movies into it, but
Prisoners is fantastic. Your boy Denis Villeneuve.
Southpaw.
The one I still gotta watch.
Southpaw, he does a really great job. Nightcrawler, obviously, I think is my favorite of his performances.
Mm-hmm.
But Jake Gyllenhaal, best actor.
All Too Well, 10-minute version.
That has not won an Oscar. Okay, we're going to leave it there at that. I do want to remind you about the fine folks at Alabama Dental Associates. As we talked about natural disasters, if you want to avoid a dental disaster, which is what I had early on in my life, go visit our friends there at Alabama Dental Associates, located on Grants Mill Road. Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian, they are there for you with a very friendly staff. They are the solution to all of your dental healthcare needs. They have all the latest technology and that friendliest staff in town. If you're ready to find the perfect dental team, reach out and try Alabama Dental Associates for yourself. They're accepting new patients now and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them 205-956-8977. That's 956-8977, or visit alabamadental.com as they look forward to seeing you. Okay, there are many more pieces of content that are coming out today, including our Acolyte review, which will drop today, talking about season 1 and our thoughts on the season finale and whether or not the series had its finale. That will be part of the discussion. We will show you the drawing out of the Dune popcorn bucket, where Ush and Rockstar helped us out with picking our next selection, which we will review for Retro Trailer Reaction next week. It is going to be a Tyler selection. Spoiler alert there.
Yes, sir.
So we are looking forward to getting to that. And we will also have our Twisters spoiler review for you dropping later today. Tons of content here on The Meltdown. We want to thank you once again for supporting all of it. Laurel, thank you for stopping by.
It's always so fun.
Always a fun Friday. I'm sorry that some of the competitiveness of the week has rubbed off on our content here on this Friday.
No,
And
we had fun.
we will remain friends. That was the true test of whether or not this week we would keep our relationships intact.
And y'all did.
I think we have thus far. If what Tyler predicts will be potentially the most contentious review in the history of the Meltdown with Twisters happens, that could be put into jeopardy. However, we have a lovely little Culver's mascot to keep us all united.
I have to have a strong opinion one way or the other for it to be contentious. I'm just very like, Futurama, when they ask, the neutral people at Dupe, it's like, I have no opinion one way or the other. And it's all right is the equivalent of that.
That's going to make for some great content here on The Meltdown as we are prepared to get to that spoilers review here in mere moments. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you being in the chat. Thank you to Ryan Brown for stopping by. We will be live with you again, normal hours next week, starting 2 p.m. on Monday. Cannot wait for that. Have a wonderful weekend, Meldonians.